Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Honk Hogan, welcome back. Crypto noob, how are you? Well, today we got some news. We got some altcoin shilling, if anybody's willing to shill some coins. And all that good stuff. It's been quite a while since I went live. I don't know, good few weeks now, maybe upwards of a month. At least on YouTube. I went live on Twitch several times since. But my Twitch audience doesn't reach so good. But that's okay. Hey Christian, what's going on? So we got a pretty high emission rate for Ethereum right now. There's really basically no fees. The fees must be really low right now. Well, 60, 50, 60, 70 Kwai. That's not too bad. No, it's not too low. But we do have a high ETH emission at the moment. Total ETH burned. $1,111,000,000 stripped from the market cap. Glad you're back. Yeah, it's good to be back. I think I kind of just needed a break. There was a lot of stuff going on, you know, with the channel and even life itself. I guess I just got a little too caught up with everything, including this, and meh. And the thing is I kind of wanted to just be like, yeah, I just want to be kind of, you know, done with it, I suppose. But it turns out that I just continue, I continue looking at crypto news and crypto prices and crypto everything. You know, you all know the feeling. It's hard to get away from. And I figured, you know what, I'm still in it, so I might as well just make some vids, because like my free time, I was using my free time after this to sort of reflect and really do a lot of thinking, and it put me in a good place, I suppose. And you know, quitting kind of put me in a bad place. Like I was kind of depressed about it. I was like, man, you know. And then like my free time, I was doing a lot of thinking, but I was also doing a lot of nothing in my free time. You know, like really late at night, you know, like when my kids are asleep, wife is asleep or something like that. And I'm kind of, because I'm kind of a night owl, you know, like I always have been. And so like I'd be like kind of doing a bunch of nothing or like fairly unproductive things. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just get right back to it. Screw it. Let's just do it, you know. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Over $1 billion in ETH burned now. I suppose it's not really shooting the price up through the roof, but perhaps it's maintaining the price. I wish they would have the circulating supply. I think coinmarketcap doesn't. Yeah, they have the circulating supply. That's a lot better. 117 million ETH. So when this came out, we were at like 112 or 115. So it's definitely slowed the emission of Ethereum down quite a bit, but it's still going up, which it was really meant to be. It wasn't really meant to be just be like permanently deflationary. So that makes sense. Substratum all in, huh? And we got Wise. We'll check it out. Is it just this one, not stake Wise? Let's see, what's Wise? What are we looking at here? Kind of on a downward trend. I'll have to check. Well, not really. Not when you scroll it out. It's up, up, up. For the most part, I had this little nice explosion here. But when you look at it back a little bit further, well, a decentralized Ether-backed investment tool program to earn users interest when locked up over periods of time. Okay, so just like an interest platform. Well, it seems to be doing fairly well. I mean, especially if you like look at it. Now that you go back a little bit, it's been on an upward trend since like July. But of course, it had that May explosion with everything else, like with Bitcoin at like 60,000. Wisetoken.net. Staking, lending, liquidity, percent signs, escrow. I like how they always have like one guy on the development team that looks like really unprofessional. Like kind of like me, like when I had long hair, you know, like if I was on a development team, there would just be this one dude with like super long hair, but he's got like a button-up shirt and a tie on, you know. There's just always that one guy, like, right? Like, this guy looks professional. This guy looks like he's like a budding artist, you know? Like, he's like a depressive artist. This guy looks fairly professional. But, like, all of them, like, seem like poorly Photoshop cut, you know, at the same time. And, like, blurry. Like, was their camera just, like, greasy when they took all these photos? Or did they just take it on a webcam? They just, like, set up a laptop with, like, a crappy built-in webcam and took their photos? Because these are just all terrible photos. Like, just go, like, if you're a developer, just go out and buy, like, a DSLR camera or something. Like, take some better photos. I'm just messing a little bit. Substratum. Substratum to the moon, huh? Let's see what we got. I remember the name Substratum, but I have no idea what this does. I have to look it up. On the way down, well, if you look at it this way, it's kind of up. If you had bought all the way back here, kind of a weird chart. Substratum network brings decentralization web worldwide without the need of special software for the average internet user. Okay, that didn't explain anything. So it's just like a ethereum kind of okay. Decentralized nodes, logs, geolocation. Okay. Meh. This is just not usually something that I'm too into, like the VPN and Tor thing with, you know, like when they take it and try to do it with crypto. I never really got into that so much, but I can see how some people would definitely use these sort of things. But me, meh, a traditional VPN is usually fine for me, for the most part. Why is Solana still at number 7? Yeah, Solana took a big hit there, though. I mean, it was at 100 and what, 89, 88? Maybe it was a little higher than that. 200, yeah, if we go into that chart. 211, yeah, I remember it getting over 200. And since fell. I guess people are over the blockchain completely failed sort of thing. Well, all the nodes kind of got locked up. All the memory got overused on all the nodes, and they all got, they sort of locked up. That's basically what happened. It was like, it was experiencing like 400,000 transactions per second, which kind of makes sense because Solana like had that big rally. So everybody probably started using it real fast. And then this is what we got out of it. And all the nodes got just absolutely wrecked. Like all the memory got just used up on them. You're the only honest, smart ones out there. Wisdom is on point, and the sauce is always yummy. Yeah, when I got that sauce, I always wonder what happened to Craig Wright. Like, I haven't found any good information on Craig Wright recently. Because that shit's my favorite, you know? That's good stuff. Justin, are we shilling coins? Just joined. Yeah, we sure are. We're live on YouTube and Twitch. I think I got rid of my counter. I should put that back on. I'll have to like readjust it though. Yeah, let's give that a, where was my viewer count? And then we'll just go ahead and put it on top of the webcam. There we go. That's real nice, guys. Look at that. Look how nice that is. Look what a good job I just did. That's amazing. Amazing, huh? Yo, yeah, Justin. So we're shilling some coins here. The viewers are shilling them to me, and then I'm chucking them out. Also doing the news and stuff, anything like that. I was kidding. Substratum is a dead project. Cool idea, but they wanted to decentralize dark web ISP. Yeah, so a lot of those coins never really make it. That's one of a couple coins that I can mention like right off the bat that never make it. So like, first of all, coins in one category, coins that never make it are coins that try to do VPNs or decentralized web browsing and stuff like that. They just never, they never take off. Like I can't name one that ever really has taken off and remained a top coin. And then on the other side of the spectrum, another general coin that never seems to take off and never seems to do very good is privacy coins. Now, Monero is the exception, of course, because Monero is, well, Monero, and Monero's amazing. But it just, like, so Monero is the highest one, but everything else, like, including Zcash, like, I don't even know where it is on the chart anymore. Zcash, Zclassic, Grim, Beam, all those coins, like some of those coins are still good to mine and they're still reasonably profitable. I think Beam is still reasonably profitable, and I think Zcash is a little bit and stuff like that. But for the most part, where are they? They're just gone. Like they're totally gone. Even Raven Cash is falling, although Raven Cash isn't, or excuse me, Raven Coin isn't a, it's not a privacy coin, but just talking about like good things to mine, I suppose, while I was there. And none of them ever take off. Like what privacy coin have you ever seen that has taken off? Except for Grim for a little short period of time. Beam was fairly popular for a very short period of time. Veilcoin was a little bit popular for a very short period of time. Still, they're popular for a short period of time and then they just die off. Like privacy coins just don't work. People don't need to use them for the most part. Like the average person just doesn't need to use them. And another problem with privacy coins is that their wallets are always incredibly confusing. Like, you know, ring signatures and whatnot. Like all their wallets are just hard to use. They just always are. I remember Veilcoin, you had to use commands for everything. And how do you know the command? You didn't, right? You had no clue what the command was. There wasn't a list of commands that they sent you like in a file when you downloaded the wallet, right? So to do anything, basically, you needed a command. So you had to go onto their Discord and then ask a developer what the command was to do this, that, or the other thing. And then you either had to write that down or you had to just remember it. Because if you forgot it, you had to go back to the Discord and ask again what the commands were to do this, that, and the other thing. And that is terrible. So that means that if somebody just got into crypto and they're like, oh, I'll check out Veilcoin, I'll mine it, they'd have no idea what they're doing. And they wouldn't know to go to the Discord and ask developers. So they were doomed to fail. They were doomed to fail. And like I kept telling them, the developers, I'm like, look, you need to focus, stop focusing on whatever you're doing, and you need to focus on this wallet. This wallet is a tragedy. I'm like, people cannot use this. I'm like, look, I've been into crypto for 3 years and I can barely use this wallet. Imagine a new person coming in and trying to use this wallet. It's simply not going to happen. You're going to fail. You need to have your buttons work, because basically a button in a program is really just like a script. Like it's all it is just like a little command. It's just a shortened version of a command put into a nice easy visual button for somebody to click. That's all it is. It's just like once you click it, the software runs the command, and then then the software runs whatever the command was. And so that's what their wallet needed to be, is like actually clickable. It was amazing. It was terrible. It was somewhat lucrative to mine it, you know, and sell it, but you know, there's just no reason for people to use it, really. Like even just the fact of like, if somebody was like, I want to buy Veilcoin so that I can send something in private, but the problem is like buying coin first and then transferring it, it really ruins all the privacy all along the way that you bought it. So it's very difficult to do that. So you might be like, okay, I'll mine it, but then it's difficult to mine it. So it's just whatever happened with Vertcoin. I think Vertcoin still updates and stuff like that. I don't think Vertcoin is I mean, like, it's kind of dead. Like, it's now a top 1,000 coin. It's ranked 700. It's 52 cents. I wonder what it got up to in May there. Over almost $2. Wow. So probably over $2. Real quick there. But yeah, for the most part, Vertcoin has been not so good. In 2020 there, wow, we were down to like 14 cents. So that's actually not too bad if you invested into Vertcoin. And even now, you'd still be up almost 5x if you had bought it all the way down here. So not bad. Vertcoin was one of my favorite coins to mine. They just use an algorithm, Lira 2, that changes, has multiple algorithms in it, and then they change up the algorithm if there's any ASICs that are spotted on the network. But I kind of doubt anybody's going to make ASICs for Vertcoin anymore. I think it was attempted back in the day, but I don't think anybody would have any lucrative reason to make an ASIC for it at all. Although you could argue that, you know, you could make a broad Lira 2 ASIC so that you can mine Vertcoin and Monacoin and other coins that are Lira 2, which those are the only two I can think of offhand. But you know, once again, Vertcoin will just change their algorithm, and that's it. How about Apollo FinTech? They developed SMS Lightning Network, have a bank license, social media platform, and more. Oh, Apollo, yeah. So just Apollo, right? Just this one, yeah? Yeah, I've heard of Apollo before, many a time. Let's see, of course, April, May was the highest period, because 2021, because of the $60,000 Bitcoin. And it got up to 9/10 of a cent. Now it's at 2.6 of a cent. So kind of going down, but again, if you could have bought down here, not too bad. I mean, it's not much gains, but hey Meep, what's going on? Meep from Meep Investments is on Twitch, everybody. Germany's largest cryptocurrency investment firm and the largest cryptocurrency investment firm in any German-speaking country apart from Austria. Apollo, world-class developers, managers, marketers, researchers, Apollo community backed by the Apollo Foundation set out to accomplish the goal of making Apollo the most technologically advanced, feature-rich currency on the market. I wish I was like the Micro Machines guy and I could read even faster. Let's give it a shot. The Apollo Foundation understands the demands of the top-tier currency. Man, it's tough. They believe they can create a coin that will integrate everything necessary to replace the current currency options. Yeah, I remember Apollo, and they were trying to be like everything. And like it had that like super following for a while. Okay, sorry, I gotta pull back a little bit. I just came across your YouTube video on how to day trade Bitcoin on Coinbase 2017, the good old days. Yeah, I remade that video. There's a modern one, because that video is 4 years old. Question, I remember you saying you were upset with YouTube and you quit not that long ago. Was there something that encouraged you to come back, or did you just miss crypto streaming? That's a good question. So, I think it's like a combination of like my family life. You know, like my son was going back to school. My daughter's getting older and she's, you know, sleeping less, and but you know, a bunch of things, like just everything in between. I guess I got a little bit overwhelmed. And the thing about YouTube is that if you consider it a job, let's just consider it a job. I consider it my hobby, like a money-making hobby, I suppose. But if you consider it a job, and many people do, that make a lot of money doing it, it's an intellectually challenging job. Okay, so like, I'm not saying your guys' jobs out there, and I'm not saying this is my job, but like, I'm just saying like your job out there, like you go to work every day and you do pretty much the same thing. And there might be like a few different things you do depending on your job, you know, like maybe you do a different thing every day, but for the most part, you know, you do the same thing. You go, you work, you come home. Whereas YouTube, like, it's an intellectually challenging and stressful role because you're like, okay, what am I going to make today? Like, I don't have any content. Like, I didn't think of anything. So you're like, I got to think of something that people would really like to watch or whatever. And the news isn't too bad with that because I can find a bunch of news if there's news that day. But it's a little bit stressful, you know, like, oh, like I need to do better. I need to do better. There's numbers. And they're just like increasing, decreasing, increasing. And it's almost like crypto prices, you know, like how stressful it is. Like Bitcoin was 60,000, but now why is it $32,000? Now it's over 40,000. Oh, cool. So I bought in. Oh, now it's $32,000. Like, so it's a little stressful. And so in my time off that I took from walking away, I reflected a little bit, and now I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about the numbers. And you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna keep moving on. It doesn't matter. The miss crypto streaming thing, I did miss crypto streaming, and I did miss making videos a little bit. So like while I was away, I had some extra free time because usually I make videos more so at night, as that's usually my free time. Like throughout the day, obviously I'm busy, and then at night my children fall asleep, and my wife usually goes to sleep more early than me. She's kind of a morning person, whereas I'm more of like a night person. And so she's usually asleep, and I come in here and make some videos and make some content, stuff like that, do some research. And without making videos or streaming, I felt empty. I felt a little bit empty. Like I felt like, hey, like what am I going to do? I'm like, well, maybe I'll just like play some video games or something. And then at the end of the night, I didn't feel very good. Like I didn't feel very accomplished. I didn't feel like I did my hobby. I didn't feel like I had fun. I didn't feel accomplished in any way, shape, or form. So it was just more depressive than the numbers of YouTube. So I just figured to myself, like, I'm gonna look at my analytics less. I'm not gonna care about the analytics. How many subscribers did I get today? I don't care. You know what I mean? Would I like a bunch? Would I like a lot? Of course. But I'm not gonna stress over it anymore. I'm just not. Like, it is what it is. I'm a small YouTuber. I'll probably always be a small YouTuber, and that's fine. That's fine. There's no getting around it. I like what I do. Okay, so moving on. I'm sorry. I'm a bit disappointed that Meeseeks didn't go higher. Yeah, maybe in time. It's hard to say. Like I said, a lot of those coins, a lot of those reflection tokens, you sort of have to be really, really early on. Like as early as possible, and then all of the volume of new people getting into the coin and rising the price and rising the volume, then you get your rewards. And as it's going down, like, everybody gets out and they bail. So it's possible that it comes back up. But again, also we're kind of, I wouldn't say we're in a bear market, but we did have that huge decline. Even just a week or two out, we had that decline. And so everything's kind of a little bit down. Some of these top coins, not so much. But when investing into coins like that, you need to be investing when it's like an outright all-in bull run. Biggest gainers, Aqua Goat Finance. Up 8,118% today. Okay. It must have not have been released till just recently. Like, it was tracked here, but I don't think that was 28,000, 14,000. Like, what happened? Did decentralized frictionless yield generation? Yeah, this is a reflection token. 40% liquidity sent to a burn wallet. Every transaction is a 4% fee. 50% is locked in liquidity. 30% is directly distributed to holders, and all remaining 20% is burned. So a big burn token. But when you start with 100 quadrillion supply, does it matter? AquaGoat. Oh, okay. So if we go to the all-time, this was already out a while ago, and then it repumped. Why? God, the mystery of crypto, huh, boys? Hey, Meep, thanks for the subscription on Twitch. You're now Twitch primed, out of your mind. Oh, you're not even Twitch Primed out of your mind. You're actual subscribed out of your mind. Oh, okay, okay. That's a rare one. But yeah, no joke. Favorite projects are Engine, Zilliqa, Arc, KMD. Monacoin. Yeah, Monacoin back in the day. Hacker returns 865S stolen from Sushi's token launch. Wow. You still have the motorcycle? Yes. I used to ride for 4 years a CBR 600RR. Or we could say that RR like somebody with a Bostonian accent that can't say their R's properly. 4 years with a CBR 600RR. I'm fully capable of pronouncing my R's. What are you saying? I can't say ah correctly. Pretty crazy modded. It was fun. Mid-20s, now 37, and life is busy. Kids work. It's not that safe to ride either. That's kind of like my wife's... That's kind of what happened to my wife. So I was riding back in the day, I was riding a R6. So my very first motorcycle I ever bought was a Ninja. It was a white 2013 Ninja 300. And it was the first motorcycle I ever had. I never rode a dirt bike in my life. I never rode a four-wheeler in my life. I drove a standard car 3 times in my life before that I bought that bike. So I had no idea. So I bought it in the winter, and I watched YouTube videos on motorcycling and stuff like that, and I went out and I rode it. And it turns out that all my Harley friends, because I lived in like a one-horse town. I lived in like a small town. And so all my friends rode Harleys, you know, America. And they were all faster than me because my bike could only go like 108 miles an hour, tops, like absolutely pegged out, like redlined. And their motorcycles was like a Dyna and like a Sportster 1200. So they'd go $120, right? And they had so much more torque than me. I was like, why did I buy a crotch rocket if I'm slower than everybody else? So I went out and I bought a 2012 R6, brand new. And it must have been overstock because it was in 2014 and they still had it. So it was a brand new 2012 black R6, and I bought my wife a Honda Shadow 750 around that time, and she rode it, and she rode it good. And once she had our son, she stopped riding because she was too scared that she'd get into an accident, even though she was riding while she was pregnant. Like, she'd go to work like pregnant, and people would be like, oh, motorcycle mama, like they loved it, like they thought it was great. And but that's her same reason too, is that you know, the kids and whatnot. Gene, thanks for the $5 super chat. This $5 super holler. Sotko, I heard a lot about Solana lately, like good and bad stuff. What is your thoughts? Glad to see you streaming. I will get to that in a moment, but I appreciate the super donation. Awesome, thank you. But yeah, so yeah, I still ride. It's a 2020 R1. So it's a 1000 cc. Right now, my front tire is warped. I noticed the past few times I've rode that my motorcycle tire is warped. And when I go to turn, especially to the left, my handlebars kick like that. So I know it's kind of backwards on the screen there, but like if you've ever rode a motorcycle, you know that like when you turn at low speeds, the handlebars will turn. If you turn at high speeds, if you've never ridden a motorcycle, if you turn at high speeds on a motorcycle, it's like a bicycle. You cannot physically turn the bars to go left or right. You have to press the opposite way. So if you want to go right, you have to press on the right bar forward, and it will it kicks the wheel to the left and then to the right, like physically, like physics. Like it kicks the wheel out to the left and then goes to the right. But when I turn on my motorcycle, it wants to kick in on me. And I look at it, and I'm like, this is all crooked. My wife and I were on the way about 100 miles north, and we stop at the gas station. And I tell my wife, I'm like, come here. Take a look at this. Like, we were having a smoke, and, like, we look down. I'm like, stand right in front of the tire and look down. I'm like, this tire looks all fucked up. I'm like, look at it, hon. I'm like, does that look jacked up to you? She's like, yeah, it looks pretty messed up. And it's like, it's wearing improperly. And she's like, ask my dad, because her dad was a Navy Her dad is pretty legit. He was a Navy chief petty officer. So he was like the guy, man, like the chief petty officer. You move the fuck out of his way. You know what I mean? It's not the highest rank in the Navy, but it's pretty. I mean, it's a quite respectable rank. And like he was the motorcycle instructor for the Navy and stuff like that, like for his base and all that shit. And like he takes one look at it and he's like, you better be careful on this tire. And he's like, take a look at the left side. It's all like, and he pointed out some features in the rubber, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it replaced. But yeah, get riding again, man. Just ride safe, dude. Maybe if you fear the 600 RR, maybe buy you know, like a Harley or like a Yamaha V-Star, or like a Cruiser or something. You know, a lot safer in general. Glad to see you back. Thank you guys for the kind words. Sorry, I'm trying to get to everybody here. Hacker returns. Yeah. We got to that. Most of other YouTubers' numbers are fake bots, paid subs, or shill fake users. I kind of suspect that. I kind of suspect that some people do use some bots and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's hard to prove. ETN is moving again. Do you think it's got a future? Do you mean it? Is that? Yeah, that's Electronium. 2.5 cents. It is kind of moving up. Probably because it bottomed out so badly. Let's see what we are at. I don't know why anybody likes Electronium. Didn't they have the fake miner for a while? Like you'd put on your cell phone and you'd mine, but it wasn't actually mining. Good to see you online again. Thank you. Glad to see you're back. Thank you. Oi oi. Thank you, Puppy Tube. Happy to have you back. Everyone is a small YouTube until they get that break. Key is to keep pushing. Yeah, I suppose so. Present, you do a good job. I remember 2017 when everything blew up. I came across you, BitBoy, Bullzilla, and Wendy O. Yeah, BitBoy came after me. I think BitBoy started his first video in January of 2018, something like that. And so did Chico. Chico came a little bit after me, I believe. Some people that came before me, I know, was Crypto Nick and Trevon James. Trevon James started in like early 2017, like January or something like that. I have a feeling Electronium will be seeing some good gains coming up. Well, it kind of is. I mean, if you had bought down here, I mean, that's fairly good gains, I suppose. That's about 4x gains, 0.006 to 0.025. Yeah, about 4x gains there. If you had purchased at that time, though, which is, you know, an odd time to purchase. Okay, so Solana lately, what's your thoughts? So Solana's doing incredibly well in terms of their price movement. And they have extremely low fees, and there's like this NFT explosion right now on Solana, and I think that's a big part of why Solana is exploding right now, is because of all of the NFTs. Like, there was this big Solana NFT movement. However, they state that they can handle, theoretically, up to 750,000 transactions. But at 400,000 transactions, all of the nodes, all of the node operators of Solana, all of their memory and stuff got absolutely overwhelmed. And it shut it down for like 12 straight hours, which is not good at all for a payment processing network, you know, for a cryptocurrency. That's bad. That's super bad. So the developers need to prevent that from happening for sure. Like, that cannot happen again. I mean, 12 hours doesn't seem like a lot, but in terms of economics, that's so much. That's so much trading volume. I mean, people were probably still able to trade a little bit. I'm not sure on certain platforms, because you're not actually sending it across the blockchain when you're trading on a centralized exchange. But I don't know. I didn't really see the price moving that much during that time that it was down. So it's hard to say. I'm not really sure if trading got halted as well. Because definitely, like, transactions got halted. Like, you couldn't transact to the exchange, and you couldn't remove it from the exchange. But on a centralized exchange, you could theoretically still trade it and just be credited. So, what are my thoughts on it? That's it. I mean, it's a really uncertain. I have a huge uncertainty with Solana. Like Solana, they're coming out with some great stuff, and there's some great developers that are making good things on Solana. Like Soulstarter requires Solana, I believe. That's a pretty good idea. I like the idea of those Soulstarter, those ICO starters where you can just, you know, like be selected, as opposed to a bunch of bots buying it up. And the NFT explosion, but I'm not a big fan of NFTs. Actually, I think one of the best quotes on NFTs is from Chico Crypto. And Chico says he doesn't buy NFTs. He's not interested, but he is interested in the underlying technology. And I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly with that. I don't buy NFTs, but the underlying technology that is providing you those NFTs, buy it, right? Fair enough. But the NFTs themselves are a big gamble, but the underlying technology is much less of a gamble, like Solana or even Ethereum, etc. OMI, let me see. But thank you for the donation, Gene. Thank you, appreciate you. I'll check this one out. I've had a Honda Shadow 700. After that, I bought a red and white Honda CB 1300, the one without fairing. Oh, the naked. Still have that many years later. Yeah, nothing like a motorcycle, guys. There's nothing like a motorcycle. One of the best feelings ever. You get to feel the wind, the humidity, the coolness. You get to smell. I mean, it's just amazing. The freedom of a motorcycle, and even like not like being in a car, you have all those blind spots. And you kind of do on a motorcycle a little bit. Like every vehicle has a small blind spot. But for the most part on a motorcycle, here's what you do. You see in the whole world. That's the whole world. Are you going to merge right? That's it, right? Whereas in a car, you're like fucking like looking over your shit, you know, and you don't know. There could be a car like right where like your back window is, and so you can see easy. You can really see easy on a motorcycle, and I really like that. Yeah, PBX just launched its on Cardano, and it pumped massively, waiting for a pullback. Looks like a cool project. PBX, huh? I'll have to maybe take a look. PBX on Cardano. Like this also launched on Cardano, powered by the Cardano blockchain. Well, definitely no big gains yet. Possibly. What does it do? Cross-chain borrowing and lending. Oh, okay, so like liquidity and lending for DeFi or whatever. You need the long hair back to get those numbers up. I don't know about that. Exactly, this industry will revolutionize almost every industry. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, so no, see, I don't like the long hair anymore, especially like while riding a motorcycle. It's terrible. You get home and you just have to brush it, and it's unbelievable. It's so tangled, like the hair in the wind must like wrap around itself like a billion times, and it's just, oh man, it's a pain. I feel bad for women that ride motorcycles, because after you're done, man, you have to brush your hair so fierce. It sucks. It takes like 20 minutes, man. And like your arm is actually like fatigued because you're brushing so hard, and like your hair is just being ripped out, so it's like thinner every time you do it. Long hair. I did it once. I don't think I'll ever do it again. I mean, I've done it a couple times in my life, like had long hair. And I don't think I want to do it again. I don't think I'll ever do it again. It's just a pain. Like everything you do, like, oh, like change out the graphics card on your computer. So like you lean down there in your computer and the hair is just in your face and you're just constantly tossing it. And imagine having kids, like a toddler. Oh man, they grab it, dude. It's such a detriment. Long hair is an absolute detriment to being a man, like period. Like to being anybody, like even women. Like good luck working on anything with long hair. And like I hate putting it up, and I always like half-ass it, you know. I'm like, yeah, like it. Anyway, Solana's growing pains. Oh, here's some Solana news. Surged 350% between August 7th and September 7th. But then Tuesday, the Solana network went down. The 17-hour shortage. Okay, it was 17 hours, huh? Sent Solana tumbling 16%. Ken, $100 donation? Ken on bros420.com? What is this? Is that a crypto? That's why women don't need to work and stay home. I guess. I don't know. Bros4. What is this? Oh, NFTs. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Ken. Unbelievable. I think it's one of the largest donations I've received, aside from working diligently for Meep Investments. Exclusive NFT membership for Bro Bros. Welcome to the Bro 420 Club, an exclusive online society of stoners who love NFTs and uplifting our bro community. Ah, good one. Good one. Good one, Protein Shake. You need to have like a level of membership that's Protein Shake, right? Go. Hey, bro, like you're not being a good bro today. Did you have your Protein Shake today? And he's like, ah, that's what I missed. You got my shaker cup? And he's like, sure, man, I got your bro shaker cup. Hand him that way, man. Fucking bro immunity. What's cool about the membership? Membership grants you early access to being a part of the bro community. What are these gonna come out on? Are these like Ethereum NFTs? Or is it just a community? Ken token. Release date. Late summer 2021. For your 100 Swansig memberships. Limited to 1 membership per account. It was a wax-based token. An official currency of the Bro 420 Club within 30 days of membership being sold out. Well, I want to be a member. It's $420 to be a member of the 420 Club, of the Bro 420. Liquidity pools will be added to Alcor Exchange. Ken will have utility throughout the project's roadmap. Blendable packs, raffle tickets, merch, and more things. Can't tell you yet. So you're going to have a Ken token. And like specifically NFTs, like this could be a good NFT site. Membership. Have a day, bro. Thank you. Nice one, Ken. Yeah, I agree. Dave, MrSotko. Hey, Karen. Bro, that was awesome, bro. Wax. There can only be 420 members. Okay, so I can't be a member. But when somebody leaves, maybe one day I will. MrSotko, do you think Bitcoin will reach $100,000 in a year? It's possible. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what kind of news comes out and like really changes it. I think if like nothing, how much Ken token do you need? Asks Meep from Meep Investments. Where is Ken token coming out? Is it a ERC token or like BSC token, or is it? Oh, it just brings me down. Oh, did I already read it and like I totally spaced it? Wax-based token, but where and for what? I'm not sure yet. We'll have to come back to this one. We will we'll bookmark the Bro Bros 420 Club. Brobros420.com. That's so good. It's a wax. Oh, wow. Okay. Alcor, huh? Let's check out Alcor while we're at it. How do we find that? I'm actually, Alcor Exchange is a wax token deck. Excuse me. NFTs are the proof that our central banks have failed in keeping our money's value stable. Yeah, I suppose so. I think NFTs are a good idea. You want to give me a link to that, Ken? If you can, do it on Twitch, because you can't do links on my YouTube, and that's for good reason. Everybody, it's for everybody, because yeah, if you have a Twitch account, you can just hop on Twitch and give me a link to the exchange, alcor.exchange. Okay. All right, that's fine. That'll work. Oh, okay, on the Wax mainnet. Oh, okay. All right. I've actually never been here. So we're learning new stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Look at us. Look at us go. Whoa. Okay, so we got a DEX here. All right. That's simple enough. EOS, Proton, Wax, Telos, BOS. Okay. We'll bookmark that too. We'll check that out more later. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you. Oh man, I appreciate you. So it'll come out on there later. So it's not out yet. Your token isn't out yet. It's coming at some point. Or is it out yet? MrSotko, are there any good NFT-based games? I'm not sure about NFT-based games. There needs to be, for sure. Are there Sotko membership VIP advantages for bro membership? You rock, bro. Have a good day. Wow, another one? Holy cow, dude, you're crazy. What is this? Let's get some, like, firm... Do we have firm handshakes as a... Do we have firm handshakes? Here we go. Firm handshakes in chat. There we go. Thanks, man. Real hearty handshake in chat. Thank you. I appreciate you. Ken Bosak to the level 1 membership as well. Man, what a legend. What an absolute legend. So I want to know if this token is actually, if Ken token is out. Wax, mainnet. I think I might have to connect a wallet to this, but I don't know if I want to do that on stream. I'm going to look into it a little bit more. I appreciate you. What do you think of ADAX? Scam or not? Is that a searchable ADAX? Oh, it's only available pre-sale. Okay. All right, man. Firm handshakes. I'm glad we got some firm handshakes in chat. I'm really glad. I'm actually really glad that meme that actually worked. Firm handshakes. It's like if I could put a GIF in chat, I'd put the you know, like where Arnold Schwarzenegger and was that Ernie Hudson, or yeah, I think it was Ernie Hudson, Action Man Ernie Hudson, and they like, you know, they do that handshake where they show their muscles. I think it was in Commando, or I can't remember the movie. Anyway, okay, so ADAX, let's check it out. Let's check it out. 7-day chart here, looking pretty good. Let's pull it out. Okay, so August 21 was its high at 217. It got down to 87 after that, now up to $1.35. ADAX is an automated liquidity protocol that facilitates trades with the Cardano ecosystem in a completely decentralized and non-custodial way. ADAX has no order book. We eliminate all intermediaries, complexity, and cumbersome procedures from the equation, offering users untrammeled freedom to trade without censorship or loss of control of their assets. Users can maintain full control of their tokens and are not required to give up their private key so that orders... Well, yeah, that's usually in what a DEX does. It's on Cardano Scan, huh? I like the fact that Cardano is now having them tokens, so I get to, like, look up different stuff now. Okay. This is Cardano Scan. So I'll actually have to get used to this now. This is sort of an adventure for me, a first-time adventure. I've checked out some like some scanners before with like Cardano and some new tokens coming out, but I haven't really dug down into it. You know what? I don't actually like this scanner very much. Maybe I will if I read it a bit. ADAX. So just connect. Buy ADAX. Let's see, what are we connecting, a wallet or something here? Yeah, we just probably have to log in and connect Cardano on Meta or something. Can you connect Cardano to Metamask? Just followed me on Twitter. Hey, I appreciate that. Oh, was it in Predator? Was that scene from Predator, the handshake scene, or was that Commando? As I know Ernie Hudson was in Command, or was in Predator, but was he also in? Maybe that was. I gotta look it up. Was that Predator? Handshake scene in Predator. You right. Yeah. The world's most epic handshake. Oh, God. Yeah, here we go. We'll give Ken today the epic handshake.
Dylan! Son of a bitch.
Boom! Look at them guns! That ain't a joke! That ain't no joke! That's what I was thinking. You're right. It is Predator. I couldn't remember if it was Commando or not, but I don't think Ernie Hudson was in Commando. Flyer Levry subscribed with Twitch Prime on Twitch. Thank you. Now Twitch Primed out of your mind. Woo! I don't need a joke either. Yeah, so Mr. Connor, do you think Solana will take over Cardano in terms of market cap? That's hard to say. That's a tough one. That's going to be hard to say. Dabmaster, welcome back. Thank you. Hit that like button. Yeah, I would appreciate that, dude. I don't mind that if you guys hit the like button. Although I think I'm going to shill it a little bit less these days. Because, you know what? I don't think I want to tell... I don't think I want to try to, like, convince everybody to, like, hit the like button, like, follow me on Twitch and all that stuff. It's too much. It's too much shilling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. It's just... They don't want to do it. And I keep pushing and pushing. And that's one thing I learned kind of while I was away. I was just like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Like, people will follow, people will like, people, you know, don't worry about it. Remember, don't forget to hit the likes. Before complimenting haircuts. Nice haircut. Yeah, it's I had it styled earlier, but it seems to have dried out. Ghost Chain versus Downtime Solana, hard choice. Go Ether. Yeah, I agree. Ethereum's a real safe choice, but does Cardano already support smart contract? Yes, but most of them are time locked. Most of them are still time locked. There's over like 2,000 contracts coming, and almost all of them are time locked. So in the video I made yesterday, I showed you a couple Cardano contracts. Hey, here's one too. It's a Cardano DEX. So this is totally working. My question is for anybody in here. Does Cardano work on Metamask? Does Cardano have its own setup for Metamask? Like BSC, etc. Like where you put the BSC mainnet on it, yada yada. Or do you just like convert it into ERC version of ADA and that's it? Not working on MetaMask. So we got one confirming. Does anybody else? Not at the moment as far as I know. Not at the moment as far as I know either, but I didn't know if I was just like missing out on something. Because with BSC, you know, you just add it to your meta. Handshake and Predator just checked. Yeah, it's Predator. You everybody's right. We just watched the video too. Okay, all right. No Cardano on MetaMask yet. That would be really nice to have its own network on. Cardano does not work with MetaMask. That would be nice if somehow the chain could be. I think it's just on a BEP20. You can put it on BEP20 though. The thing is though, isn't there, nobody ever made a Cardano Ethereum token or a Cardano BEP20 token? So Dabmaster says it's on BEP20. So all you would have to do is like name it BADA, like Binance ADA, and you could put it on, and it would just be like a wrapped ADA. You need Yoroi. It's the same as MetaMask. Okay, you're right. I did read that last night. I was looking up, yes, under Binance Smart Chain. Okay, so there is a wrapped ADA on BEP20. And Yoroi, I don't know if I'm actually even saying that right. I don't think I care. It's their fault for spelling it wrong. Kind of like my name, MrSotko. People are always like, Mr. Sotopo. I'm like, oh man, I should have named myself something different. So if Cardano is not supported on MetaMask, does it mean no smart contract yet? No. There are smart contracts. I mean, this is I believe this is a Cardano DEX right here. This is the Cardano DEX token for ADAX, and then ADAX is running on this. I don't, like I said, I think everybody has a lot of research to do about Cardano. Literally, the smart contracts came out on the 12th. I think it was the 12th, and most of them are time locked, so most of them are just not functioning right now. MrSotko, what are wrapped coins? That's like wrapped Bitcoin. So it's essentially an ERC20 token, and it's called wrap. Like, so you can wrap any token. Okay, so like for example, Bitcoin is not on the Ethereum blockchain, right? Obviously not. So people got the idea that if you could put a Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain, then you could use MetaMask with it to buy tokens, to trade it, all this stuff, right? On DEXs. So that are on the Ethereum blockchain, but you can't put Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain. So, how do you do that? So the idea is that you make something called wrapped Bitcoin, and it's wrapped on the Ethereum blockchain. There's nothing really wrapped about it. It's just a brand new token made on the Ethereum blockchain called wrapped Bitcoin. And then when you send your Bitcoin to a specific address, it locks that Bitcoin and it gives you wrapped Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is $30,000, let's just say at the time, it's like 45, 48 right now. I don't know, whatever. If Bitcoin's at $50,000. So you trade it for wrapped Bitcoin, and that wrapped Bitcoin is worth $50,000 as well. So it's worth the same exact price as Bitcoin. And so it's a 1-to-1. So when you deposit your Bitcoin and it gets locked, you get wrapped Bitcoin, and now you can use wrapped Bitcoin. You can essentially use Bitcoin on the Ethereum network. So you'd be able to use it with MetaMask and be able to connect to DEXs and Uniswap and stuff like that. That's what wrapped coins are. So you could effectively take Cardano and then make a Cardano on the Ethereum blockchain called wrapped Cardano, like maybe WADA or something like that. There probably already is. I'm not sure. There probably already is. ADA. I guess not. I don't know. But you could, and then when you deposit your Cardano into a locked wallet, you would get wrapped Cardano, and then you could use Cardano on the Ethereum blockchain and just send it around. I don't know. I guess just nobody has done it yet or something. I'm not sure. So many people lost money trying to wrap coins. No, because once you redeposit your wrapped Bitcoin, you can get your Bitcoin back. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio. They only make 1 Bitcoin per Bitcoin that was locked. Like WBTC? Yeah, like wrapped Bitcoin. So wrapped Bitcoin, the total supply is only 206,000. So that means that only 206,000 Bitcoin have been deposited into a wallet to lock it to be able to have this wrapped Bitcoin be in existence. So now you can take this wrapped Bitcoin and see it's the same price as Bitcoin. It might be a few bucks up or down or something like that, but it's for the most part, it's the same exact price. And then you can take this wrapped Bitcoin and put it in a Metamask wallet and then be able to connect to Uniswap or something like that. I'm not sure ADA would ever be compatible with Metamask since the Shill wallet infrastructure is completely different. I think the future interoperability of Cardano will be through bridges. Yeah, you're right. So one person said that it works with the Yoroi wallet. I'll have to look into that and grab it. But what I was thinking is I'm aware that Cardano is not Ethereum. It's not the same thing. But either is Binance. They used to have a Binance coin, but either is Binance. Binance is its own chain as well, yet it's somewhat compatible with MetaMask. So I just figured that MetaMask developers could just put the software, write the code that would be able to handle Cardano. So I don't know. I was just wondering because I had looked it up a couple times and I hadn't found it on how to connect your MetaMask wallet to Cardano. And apparently you cannot. So I don't think that'll last forever, though. I think really the developers of the MetaMask wallet should be able to put some kind of lines of code in there to be able to connect to the Cardano blockchain. Maybe it's impossible. I don't know. I'm not a developer of MetaMask, obviously. So we'll have to see. Hex. Let's see how Hex is doing. We got to check Hex every time we do this. Somebody comes along and wants to know about that. Hex. 48 cents? Oh my God. Hex is going crazy. Jesus. Hex ain't a joke, boys. Roy's 88 specific. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Hex ain't a joke, boys. It just ain't. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I used to rip on Hex, and I kind of still do because all of the money goes to Richard Hart for whatever reason. So it's basically a just get rich quick scheme for him. However, the fundamentals of Hex, look at it. I mean, I can't deny that. I can't lie about that. That's insane gains. Sorry, you can't anymore. I called it a functional scam when it first came out. And I still believe that's the case. It's definitely a functional scam. All you're supposed to do is just buy it and hold it, and other people are supposed to get wrecked. And it gives all the money to Richard Hart. However, I've come around to it, and I have to say, you're making money. So that's it. That's what I got to say. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Sunday swap launch? Ooh, I haven't heard of that. Do you guys actually believe any of these tokens are for anything other than gains? Why are you fooling yourselves? So okay, I'll answer that question. What is Hex for? Can anyone explain? For making money. That's it. In 2 days, they got that keynote in Decentraland. Worth a look. Hey, bro, have you ever heard of Karura? Seems really promising. Let me actually talk SCP-001. By the way, my son loves the SCPs. My son knows all about them SCPs. He loves it. Do you guys think any of these tokens are for anything other than gains? Well, we are early in the system, and we're coming out with new things every day in crypto, DEXs and different things and NFTs. Are there any uses for this other than for gains? Yes, tons. I mean, I don't even think I want to get into it because I think I could go off for about an hour on that, on the uses of this. However, anything other than gains, is anybody here not for the money? Raise your hand. Like, seriously, is anybody here genuinely not for the money? It's because maybe 6 years ago we used to crap on tokens. Have you checked the Sotko token? It went up 200x because of the demand. Seriously, is anybody here not for the gains? Is anybody here not to make money? No. No, I seriously don't think so. So, like, are we fooling ourselves? No, because we're all here for the gains. And in some cases, not for the money. Yeah, okay. Because, even somebody, somebody commented on my channel when I first came back, and he's like, they said something along the lines of, this guy's only in it for the money, because he quit a little while ago. And I thought to myself, I read that comment, and I thought to myself, I'm like, well, that's not much of an insult. Like, first of all, yeah, I did get a little bit burned out there. I guess I got a little bit stressed, and I stopped making vids for a few weeks or a month or whatever. I don't even know how long. But only in it for the money? Yeah. Kinda. First of all, don't get me wrong. I love this conversation that we're all having, and I know all of you. The vast majority of you that are in the chat right now, either on Twitch or YouTube, I have known you guys for years. You have been coming to the channel for years. There's a level of a relationship in that, like a friendship that, I know you and we catch up every week and stuff like that. This, you know what I mean? This is a very private channel in the sense that it's generally small, and I can talk to everybody and I can get to almost every single comment. I've known all you guys for years, right? So that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect, he's only in it for the money. Well, yeah. Who isn't, though? Who isn't? Why go to work if you're not in it for the money? Are you working for a charity? Do you work for UNICEF? Do you get paid? Would you work for UNICEF if you didn't get paid? I don't understand how that's an insult. Every single person on planet Earth is after that money for their family, for themselves, for their Lambo, right? Or whatever. Everybody is. That's not an insult to be like, hey, Meep, you're only in it for the money. Kinda. What do you mean? Not everybody's gonna do everything and not get paid for it. What do you mean? You can love your job. You can do charitable acts and go down to the old soup kitchen and give some homeless some fucking soup and shit and not get paid, right? But then when you go to your real job, you better be getting paid. Otherwise, you know what I mean? It's not an insult. It's not an insult to anybody. The only insult that would be for example, if there was a priest and he had a mansion and 10 cars, sports cars and shit like that, the guy's worth $100 million. You could be I think you could safely insult that priest and be you're only in it for the money. Why do you have $100 million? Why do you have a mansion? You know what I mean? That's a proper insult, I think. You're only in it for the money. Yeah, that's a bit of an insult. But if you talk to a cryptocurrency YouTuber talking about gains all day long and shit and news, yeah, kinda. I'm not a dick, I like everybody. I like the conversation, but kinda. Who isn't? Anyway, thank you, Raphael, for the $5 holler. I appreciate that $5 super chat. When the NFT bubble will burst? That's a good question. I think it's hard to say. That's really hard to say, but I think some of the people who bought Bad Luck Brian memes for $36,000 and all these memes and JPEGs for $100,000 and shit like that, I think in the end, some of those people are going to get wrecked. I think a lot of those people are going to get wrecked because let's say I bought Bad Luck Brian meme for $36,000 and I try to sell it today. Is it going to sell more than $36,000? If so, then good. If not, then yeah, it's kind of a bubble. But I don't know the answer to that. But I think some of it will survive, and a lot of it will be a bubble. I think it kind of maybe already is, in the sense that, like, I think the vast majority, probably the 90 to 95% of art that is being uploaded to OpenSea and various other like NFT websites is just never going to sell. And if it is going to sell, it's going to sell for like $1 in Ethereum, and then nobody's going to know that it exists. So I think the vast majority of the NFT world, I don't know if you'd want to consider it a bubble, but isn't going to make it for sure. And you could argue that with basically everything in this world. But yeah, like imagine like me like making a crappy picture of a dog and then putting it on OpenSea. Does it sell for nothing? Does it never sell? Does it sell for $100,000? See, that's eesh. So I can't answer that question exactly. I apologize. We're in for different things, but money is the tool, the converted energy. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like we're converting energy into money, and I think for the first time, like particularly with Bitcoin, you know, you can go to like Reddit and look at the first Bitcoin post ever made on Reddit, and like people are like, well, how do people know how much it's going to be worth? Like, how do people set the value? And well, the value is initially set by the electricity that costs to make it, and you can mine thousands and thousands of Bitcoin per day. You know, when it first came out, if not more, if not like tens of thousands of Bitcoin a day, like easy, you know, and that's how much the electricity costs. And that's why Bitcoin, you know, when it first came out was 0.003 or 0.0003 cents and shit like that, like well below a penny. And then eventually it gets harder and harder and harder to mine it, and the price keeps going up and up and up over time, and it takes years and years and years to do that. So that's kind of what we're doing here, and to a nutshell, and it's getting much more complicated as time goes on. So do we seriously believe these things will be worth anything or be useful for anything? Yes, truly. Right now, yes, most people are about the gains. I think it'll always be about those gains to most people for the most part. I mean, just like, you know, you don't build a bridge. All it is to you is getting across the river. And you could argue somebody like, you know, oh, you're only in it to get across the river. Well, yeah, for most people, but for the architect, that's a different story. I made a beautiful bridge. This bridge is solid. It's going to stay here for the next 300 years. This bridge is solid as stone. It's great. But to, you know, that's the developers of crypto. But to the average person, it's just about getting across the water, right? And to the average person of crypto, it's just about making money and paying their bills. That's it. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But to the developers, they're creating real useful shit. BTC was supposed to be adopted as a currency. To do that, it had to grow slowly, be distributed to as many people as possible. Yeah, and it's there. I mean, it is. Definitely here for the gains, but the tech and future potential of crypto is a growing portion of my interest. Exactly, me too. And I'm not saying I'm entirely in it for the money and stuff like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody, that's not a bad thing. That's not an insult. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, is it only for the money for you guys? Well, a lot of them, yeah. A lot of them are going to say, yeah. And then I think a lot of people are going to be like, you know, I like the money, but I also like the tech too. And that's fine. Like, it's just not an insult. Bitcoin team sold out to Bitmain and allowed ASICs. Provides a lot of security, though. You could argue that ASICs provide incredible security. It would be the same thing, though, if Bitcoin was only on GPUs. Everybody would just have tens of a warehouse filled with GPUs. And if Bitcoin was only on CPUs, people would just have warehouses filled with CPUs. And in any case, with a CPU, you can always use a GPU anyway. Even if it's like an anti-GPU algorithm, you can still GPU mine. So SCP, I gotta say, man, if it isn't ASICs, then it's GPUs, right? And then there's just gonna be gigantic warehouses completely filled to the brim with GPUs instead of ASICs. It's no different. It's no different. It doesn't make a difference. Because as soon as the popularity is so high with Bitcoin that GPUs no longer work, people are just gonna have to buy more GPUs and more and more and more and more and more. And people would just be like, I can't buy any GPUs, or just like everybody with these GPU warehouses, it's so centralized. It can't be done. Where there's money to be made, whales will come along and build a warehouse of it. Period. Well, my boss expects us to love the job. Sorry guys, DeFi Hub of Kusama. Sorry, I got like way slowed down here. Bitcoin team sold out to ASICs. I know somebody who is working for the UN earning 20,000 euro a month. Greed is one of the reasons this grows so well. It's a financial asset. DeFi is a joke. Loans can't be anonymous. That's not true. I mean, you can choose. DeFi loans are okay. I mean, I'm sure there's platforms out there that are anonymous loans, where you just, you know, provide your wallets. But I mean, I know somebody who does loans, and they do pretty well with it. So I am not in it in hopes to buy and own apartment someday, but at the same time, because of the tax. So yeah, 50-50, fair enough. Good approach. A lot. Loans can't be anonymous. Really? I've been loaning hundreds of thousands to Anon. NFTs are not liquid at all. Good luck selling the JPEG when there is panic in the market. Exactly, yeah. DeFi Hub of Kusama. You don't know what DeFi is, bro. Any loan can be anonymous. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like some of those websites are. It's just like you deposit something, for example, like Ethereum, and you can get a certain amount of your Ethereum back, or you deposit a certain amount of Bitcoin and you get a certain amount percentage of that back as a loan, as a cash loan, and then you can, you know, if the price of things go up, you're essentially good, and if it goes down, you can take a bigger loan, and it's another portion of your money. I rate money right up there with oxygen. You need air to live, and you need money to live. If you don't, you need to, well, then why people work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. NFTs will not burst because it doesn't go the same price flow as currencies. I don't know if this counts as a coin, but check out Rarity Manifested. What? Nah, it's got to be searchable. Hey, thanks for the dono, Stefan. How can I not chill Hex? By the way, MrSotko, I love you, man. Never stop venting on the tube. We need to get your channel out of the algorithm slump. Your commentary is much better than the big channels using clickbait hype like BitBoy or Jeb. Yeah, I've been thinking about working on my hype a little bit more. So if you guys see the hype, you know, it'll be fine. But thank you, Anthony, for the $5 super chat. Mega holler. Thank you. And thank you for that dono. The Swedish krona, huh? I don't think I've ever got me any kronas. Thank you. That's a good portion of them kronas. Ervin, thanks to you, I have a motorcycle. Beat Connect all those times. What kind of motorcycle did you get, my friend? I got that 2020 R1, but my front tire is a little jacked up at the moment. It's different. GPU was able to be bought for cash and more widely available. ASICs were and still mostly are bought by BTC from the manufacturer. Bitmain for BTC only. I totally hear you on that, SCP. I wish ASICs were more decentralized. I wish more people made ASICs. I wish more companies were more open with their ASIC sales and didn't use their own ASICs to mine and then resell those ASICs. Totally, man. I'm totally with you, SCP. However, what I'm saying isn't any different though, in the fact that if ASICs never came out, so here's the transition of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin came out, it was only CPU, okay? CPUs. In 2010, I think, FPGAs started being used to mine Bitcoin. Shortly thereafter, within a month or two, GPUs were used to mine Bitcoin, then ASICs. So ASICs came last. The problem with ASICs, I agree, is that it takes a big manufacturer to make them, and they're very centralized in the sense that Bitmain is accused of using their own ASICs to mine and then sell their ASICs when they're all done with them. Yes. So I wish there was more transparency with ASIC sales, and I wish there was, yeah, I wish it was just better. Do you think, oh my God, I'm saying loans are not supposed to be anonymous. Who says that they're not supposed to be anonymous? The bankers? Hey, sorry. MrSotko, do you think the collapse of Evergrande and China's entire real estate bubble will have an effect on crypto? Well, I think if the whole market goes down, I think if we have another 2008 crisis, I think everything will go down. I think crypto will definitely go down. I don't think crypto will be the hedge that people believe it to be. I just don't think so. Because, I mean, maybe. Because it seems like anytime there's a crisis in the market, in like the stock market, and we haven't been in a full-on, blown-out, like, depression, you know, in the stock market since Bitcoin has came out. But, for example, when the coronavirus lockdowns first began in, what was that, March of 2020, everything went down, including Bitcoin and all of cryptocurrency. So people were panicking, and they were selling everything so they would have their money to buy stuff. So if the market goes down like China and it affects the whole world, and there's a big depression in the whole world or crash or something like that, I think crypto might go down with it. I think people will sell all of their assets as much as they can. I think the average person has, you know, hundreds or maybe just a few thousand or so in Bitcoin. And there's people with much more, of course. But I think the average person doesn't have that much, maybe a few thousand, you know, or so. And they'll sell it to pay their rent, to pay their bills, to buy groceries or something like that. You know, especially if they lost their job, you bet your ass they're going to sell their assets. And this tech is copy-pasted crap. I agree. A lot of it is copy-pasted. Yeah, for sure. Okay, sorry. It's NFTs with big ecosystem on FTM by Andre. Still being built. A whole game. DeFi, it's on Phantom by Andre. Can you type me out the whole name so I can Google it, Jay Crisco? Man, DeFi is a joke. You were loaning tokens to each other. Yeah, but it's a smart contract though. MrSotko, how can I mine Solana and Cardano? You don't mine Cardano, you stake it, which I suppose is mining, but you put Cardano in a staking pool. Solana? I'm not sure. Do you stake Solana? Solana proof of stake? I've actually haven't looked into proof of stake with delegations, validators, process. Okay, so Solana has delegators. I think it's a proof of, like, I think it's a delegator run. What is it called? Delegated proof of stake, I think. And it has it's very, very, very expensive to run a Solana node. Let me Google it. The Solana founders are staking new validators with about 200,000 Solana token. No way. It takes 200,000 Solana token to stake to make a node. no fucking way. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, forget about staking Solana. That'll be impossible. But Cardano, yeah, there's a lot of staking pools. Man, DeFi is a joke. You're loading tokens to each other. Yeah, but it's a smart contract though. So it's not like necessarily direct to each other. You're just putting it in the system and you're getting your value out of it. And then you can later go get it. So the good thing about DeFi loaning is that, like, for example, you have so much Bitcoin and you put it in there, and they'll give you like 60% of the value. Okay, so you take that 60% of the value, now you can take that and buy something else, or you can pay off whatever. And if the price of everything goes way up, if Bitcoin is at 30,000 and then you take a loan, you get your 60% loan to value ratio, and then it goes to 60,000, you can easily pay off that loan. Boom. And you get your Bitcoin back. And you get that Bitcoin back. So not only did you get extra Bitcoin, and if the market went up, you can pay that loan off for a very small amount of Bitcoin because the market went up tremendously. And then you get your principal back, you get your loan back, plus what you got, that 60% that you might have had to pay off that loan. So actually DeFi loaning is quite lucrative if the market works right in your favor. There's no doubt about it. If you really want to know about loans, just pay Meep from Meep Investments $1,000 cash, and he'll give you all the information you need to know to make a whole mess of money. Where time is value. So yeah, how do you mine Solana and Cardano? So Solana again is a node. You have to run a node, and it's I think it's like hundreds of thousands of Solana to do it, which would be like millions of dollars. I don't even know. I'm not sure. Like, I don't think anybody can anymore. On Cardano, there's a bunch of Cardano staking pools. I think you can run your own Cardano node, but you have to have, like... Meep, didn't we talk about this a while ago, that we were thinking about running a Cardano node? I told you, like, it would be a good idea to run one, and, like, look at the price now, so I guess I was right. But anyway, no big deal, no big deal. But it wasn't it like 20,000 Cardano for it to run a node? Something like that. That's not too bad. Either way, it's going to cost you. SCP-01, why so salty and aggressive? It's okay. He can be. That's fine. You ever going to apologize for telling us you hate us all? Not to you, no. No, I'm not. Bye, Convey. Everybody wave. Everybody wave. We'll time him out first, maybe. Something like that, you know what I mean? We'll just straight up hide him. Bye-bye. At the time of Vulcan S, it was for my wife, and she resold it for a Z650. Ah, the little upright ones. Yeah. Bye, Felicia, says Dabmaster. Get wrecked. Yeah, Kawasaki Vulcans were nice, but hey, Ervin, go to work. And I'm not sure if that's pronouncing your name properly. I just know another Ervin, a historical Ervin, and that's his name. So, yeah. In China, everybody and their dogs have loans on at least one overpriced apartment. Yeah, probably. Reef Coin was supposed to be huge, but negated on the Polka auction. Reef Coin, huh? Selling assets to buy toilet paper. I guess, man. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, though. If there was a serious crash where people were losing their jobs, I mean, hey, the coronavirus shutdown kind of was, right? And you can take a look at it. I mean, like, let's take a look. Like, it happened. You know, this happened. Bitcoin. Let's go max. Pull this way on in. Where? Oh, it's back here more. Okay. But here, right here, actually, is where it happened. I mean, of course, look. In the long run, it didn't matter, right? But this is when the coronavirus shutdowns occurred. $8,000 to like 3,200. This says like it's a lot, but it's really not. But you can see it here. Like it got down to 3,200. This says it's 5,300, but it really got down to like $3,300 on most exchanges. And so that's what would happen, is people are going to sell their shit. I mean, you might be able to get it cheaper then. It might be a better price in the future, of course. You know, just because Bitcoin, the way it operates, you know, but people will have to sell their stuff. If a lot of people lose their jobs, if a lot of people are losing their homes, I mean, people are going to sell their Bitcoin before their home is sold. MrSotko, people of Afghanistan are converting their holdings to Bitcoin after Taliban's rule. Is it? Is there an article on that? 28 people watching and just 17 likes. Come on, people, push the like button. Actually, I got like 52 likes, my friend. Do a little refresh. Actually, we're up to 58. But I appreciate you, Andrej, for the concern. But we're at 59. Refresh for the likes, yeah. What a Cardano Sotko node. Check out D-Race. I'm salty because I remember this channel like 4 years ago, and we used to hope that BTC would actually be used as a currency. Okay, well, El Salvador officiated it as a currency, and many South American countries are now planning on doing it, or at least providing legislation towards it. It is a currency, though. I mean, you can get a lot of cards to facilitate the use of it. I mean, you can get like Coinbase cards, crypto.com cards and stuff like that. And then when you swipe it, it just lowers your crypto balance and then pays them the vendor in fiat, whatever they want. Many people do accept it. I mean, in all reality, it's up to everybody, I suppose. It can't be used. On an individual basis, it can be. But you're right. I know what you mean. Like if like everybody started to use it all at once, it just would not be able to be used. Yeah. And it's not distributed to people. But if it was distributed to people, it would just get redistributed right back into the hands of whales. So that'll never work. First of all, it can be distributed very easily. All you got to do is just go buy it. The only problem is you can't mine it now because the difficulty is so high, but you wouldn't be able to do that with GPUs either. So it's not an ASIC thing. If there were no ASICs, there would be so many GPUs on the network that no one GPU would ever make any money off of it. So don't worry about that. But double check your altcoins on Etherscan. What do you mean? Don't use coinmarketcap. Well, I'm using coingecko. And if it was like, let's say like we took Bitcoin right now and we redistributed it to everybody in the world. So everybody in the world has a little bit of Bitcoin. Where would that Bitcoin go? It would go immediately to Walmart, to big corporations, and it would be re-centralized within days. Like, what do you do when you have money? You go to the store, right? You buy stuff. You go and you buy groceries. You go to Walmart and you buy stuff. You go to IKEA. You go to a store. You go to Amazon. You go somewhere and you spend it, and you immediately give that money to a whale. If everybody in the United States just immediately got $10,000 or one whole Bitcoin, it would all be gone fast. It'd be gone super fast. Everybody would just immediately go to Walmart and spend it. Everybody would immediately go to Target or a grocery store. Everybody would immediately spend it on a car. It'd be gone immediately. It'd be re-centralized into the hands of a bunch of corporations. So that's the way money works. I mean, if everybody in America got $1 million right now, how long do you think that money would last? How long do you think people would have that money for? Some people, a long time. I think the vast majority of people would go out and blow it on a house. Which, hey, I'd buy a house too, I suppose. But like everybody would go and blow it on a Lambo. They'd go and blow it on stupid ass Jordans or something like that. They'd go and blow it on stupid ass shit. So it can't be what everyone originally wanted BTC to be. It won't be a currency, but it is a currency. It is. It depends on what your definition of a currency is, SCP. I can send you $50 in Bitcoin right now. I can send you $100 in Bitcoin. Is that not a currency? I can send $1 billion of Bitcoin across the blockchain for like 50 cents. Is that not a currency? And then I can cash it out on the other end. I mean, are you talking about if you're talking about mass currency, not so much. Because if everybody in the world started to use Bitcoin, obviously the fees would go up, exploding. Hey, Magic, what's up? Welcome to Welcome to Twitch. Greek Prince, thoughts on Cardano NFTs. I think NFTs are a bit of a meme. I think some NFTs are great. I like the idea of NFTs. I like the idea of being able to take a real world physical asset or even a digital asset and assigning it a unique code that only makes it that one asset has that one unique code, and then being able to sell that, and you now have the rights to that asset or that unique code. However, most people are just putting retarded things on. Like, I made a video the other day, and it's a guy bought like a hedgehog. Like, all it is just this poorly drawn like hedgehog or something like that NFT, and it's basically like a $100,000, $200,000 NFT. It makes no fucking sense. But I do like NFTs in the sense of the tech, like of being able to actually identify something with a very specific immutable code, right? That's NFT, non-fungible token. It has a unique code. This is mine, right? That's cool. There could be a lot of uses for that, but most NFTs are just bad luck Brian JPEGs, and that's totally stupid. The currency is what people wanted. Is it? Or is that what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted? Or is that what Hal Finney wanted? Because Hal Finney thought it would be $10 million one day. So everybody thought it was going to go up in price someday. So did everybody think it was going to be a currency, or did everybody think that it was going to be a currency and go up? Like, it's real hard to say that. You can't just say like is what people wanted. Like where's the proof of that? Like, you can't just say that. Like, you can't just be like, that's what people wanted. Oh, really? Is that what you say that other people wanted? You can't, that doesn't work. That's not a valid argument. Because it is a currency. I can send you money right now. People can send me money if you want to send me Bitcoin. No. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. But I'm just saying, like, it is. I agree with you in that there's a fundamental change in Bitcoin that because it didn't go up in transaction rate, that Bitcoin cannot be a world currency that everybody use. However, what Bitcoin is really good for is moving incredible amounts of money for nearly free, for nearly instantly. Now, even if your Bitcoin transaction takes an hour, but I sent $1 billion across the blockchain, that's incredibly fast. You know how long it would take you to do that if it was a bank? You know, so there are uses for it. But I know what you mean. I see what you mean, SCP, that it's not distributed to everybody, that if I want to use Bitcoin as a currency, I have to go buy Bitcoin first. But why would I go buy Bitcoin first if I'm going to spend Bitcoin on something? Right? That doesn't make any sense. Like, say, like, you're like, I got this thing for sale. I got this phone for sale. Give me $500 in Bitcoin for this phone. Or give me $500. And I'm like, I want to buy that in Bitcoin. But why would I buy it in Bitcoin when I can just use my credit card? Or I can just send PayPal? Or I can just swipe my card and pay you in fiat? I can send you money across Facebook. I can send you money across PayPal. I can send you money across all different, Venmo, all different sources. Why would I go to an exchange, buy Bitcoin, then send that Bitcoin somewhere? That's going to take way too long. That's way extra steps. So right now, yes, Bitcoin is still a currency, but it's more of like, more of a store of value and more of a rarity in the planet. More of a taking energy and putting it into money. Taking energy and now this is worth this much because it cost me this much to mine it. And big currency. Like, hey, I want to move $1 million, but I don't want to do it with my bank. You know, and you happen to have $1 million in Bitcoin. I guess there's big whale movements all the time in Bitcoin. And it's far cheaper than using a bank. So there are ways. I think if you really want to be convinced that about Bitcoin and stuff, you should watch Andreas Antonopoulos. He's very good at that. We all agree here basically, but what if you get your salary in Bitcoin like I do? I don't think I would accept my salary in Bitcoin unless it was only in Bitcoin. Like if I went to work somewhere and they're like, we only pay you in Bitcoin. Okay. Otherwise, why accept your salary in Bitcoin? Why not just accept 100% of your money in fiat and then pay all your bills, and with your leftover money DCA into Bitcoin? Because otherwise you're going to get paid in Bitcoin, then you're going to have to sell the Bitcoin, then you're going to have to wait for that Bitcoin to enter your account, and then pay your bills in fiat, right? So like, let's say I got paid in Bitcoin. Let's say I got paid $2,000 in Bitcoin for my job, right? And then I come home and I have to put it on Coinbase, then sell $1,000 of it to pay my rent, and then sell $500 of it to pay all my bills, and then be left over with $500 in Bitcoin, and I'm all good, right? Why not just get paid in $2,000 in money, in fiat, and then pay your rent, pay your bills, and then let's say you got $500 just totally left over, you have nothing to spend it on, you got all your groceries, all your bills are paid, everything's good, and you put $500 into Bitcoin. Why not do it like that? Why do it the opposite hard way and receive Bitcoin? Like, I love Bitcoin, I love crypto, don't get me wrong. I mean, look at me, I'm running a Bitcoin crypto channel, okay? So like, I like Bitcoin, but why? You use a Coinbase card to order on Amazon, etc. Okay, so it all goes to the Coinbase card, is what you're saying, and then you just have a Coinbase card, and then you can just swipe everything. Fair enough. All I'm saying is the original spirit of what Bitcoin was supposed to be has been changed to a facade of in it for the tech to disguise everyone's greed. Okay, fair enough. Because the original Bitcoin vision was to be used as for micro payments on the internet. Like if I liked your post or you made me a cool thumbnail and I was going to pay you 50 cents for it, that was what Bitcoin was for. Not all, just some. Okay, fair enough. That's what I mean. If it's just some, then that's a better story, right? If it's like, okay, we're going to pay you 40% in Bitcoin and 60% in fiat or something like that, that's a different story. But all being paid in Bitcoin doesn't make any sense to me. I agree with you to some degree. Don't get me wrong, SCP. Like, I am not arguing with you. I totally agree with some of the things you're saying. Some of the things, I guess I disagree, but I'm not trying to argue here. All I'm saying is that you are right in that Satoshi's original vision was that Bitcoin was going to be used for the people, by the people, being used like by CPUs, but his vision was fucked up because he thought to himself, okay, this is going to have very little value. It's going to have the value of turning on your computer and using a CPU to mine this. So the people will be able to essentially use micro payments to avoid big processors. Like if I was going to pay you $2 on the internet because you did some task for me or because I liked your post, I'm not going to do PayPal because PayPal is going to take 30% of the whole thing, right? But Bitcoin would make a better choice back in the day because all I'd have to do is send you 100 Bitcoin and there's your $2, right? Hey, cool, great. The problem is Satoshi Nakamoto had various oversights, several. One, he didn't really take into consideration that the difficulty would get out of control if people started to use Bitcoin, that the difficulty would get severely out of control and that you would have to go to FPGAs. You would have to start using GPUs. You would have to start using ASICs. Another oversight that Satoshi had was the transaction rate. When Bitcoin was first released, Bitcoin had no block size limit. None. It didn't exist. You could make a block as large as you want. However, most of the blocks back in the day were very little because people were using very small transactions or none at all. A lot of the blocks were totally empty. But there was no limit on it whatsoever. So there was no 1 megabyte limit block size. So if Bitcoin was the original Bitcoin today, although it'd be pretty messed up because there had to be some fixes because of the Bitcoin exploit. There was that produced like billions of Bitcoin or something like that. That had to be fixed. So there was some errors with Bitcoin. But there was no block size limit. Later on, Satoshi Nakamoto said, this is not good. I'm going to put a 1 megabyte block size limit on Bitcoin that can later be increased. We'll have to see. Because he thought to himself, Bitcoin would be very easy to attack if there was no limit block size. If somebody wanted to, they could spam the network so severely that they could create 10 megabyte, 100 megabyte, gigabyte blocks, individual blocks, gigabyte blocks. And what that would do would crash the whole system, because that would mean that all node operators would have to download 1 gigabyte per 10 minutes. That can't happen. That's impossible, especially back in 2009, right? Most people did not have the internet good enough to be able to run a node and download an entire gigabyte in 10 minutes, right? Not possible, basically. So Satoshi put the 1 megabyte block size limiter on there. So that's kind of been limiting a little bit. But you can see the problem is that the bigger the block size you get, the harder it will be for nodes to operate. Because if you had 100 megabytes every 10 minutes, what if you had like what if you only had 125 kilobytes down or something like that, and you were trying to run a Bitcoin node? Well, you could, but you know, if you had to download 100 megabytes in 10 minutes, you couldn't do it. It couldn't be possible. You wouldn't be able to run a node. It'd be more centralized. So Satoshi saw that and realized that people could essentially spam the network so severely that it could just crash the whole thing. So he put a 1 megabyte in there. So that's what kind of slowed down Bitcoin after that. But now that the world's internet is better than 2009, you don't need every single transaction on the settlement layer. If Bitcoin community agrees 1 megabyte is not enough, it will be changed. Well, the Bitcoin community already agreed a long time ago that 1 megabyte is not enough. However, SegWit was going to have a 4 megabyte upgrade, but they didn't add it, so it's still 1 megabyte. Some people argue that there's a bit of a conspiracy that who are those Bitcoin devs? Block, Adam Back, Blockstream. That Blockstream is purposely because what Blockstream does is they create third-party settlement layers and stuff like that. They create like third-party solutions, second-layer solutions to Bitcoin, and that Blockstream is purposely trying to keep the 1 megabyte size on Bitcoin so that they still have a job. The Bitcoin community did not agree. I don't know about that one, dude. I remember that back in the day. I remember this debate back in 2017, and everybody wanted a higher transaction layer, but there were some developers that refused. In fact, SegWit came, and it was supposed to have 4 megabyte. How did SegWit get from 4 megabyte to, maybe we shouldn't do that, to 1 megabyte? Crypto Twitter is not the Bitcoin community? Okay. I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm talking about my whole experience in 4 years and being in 2017, reading the whole debate, making video after video after video about it. Developers have no power at all. It's the miners who have the power. Yes. So naive, Seb. Holy shit, dude. Woo, you gotta chill out. Hey, I'm gonna time you out, but I gotta time you out. Holy fuck, dude, that's super naive. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I can't believe it. People still believe that? Oh my God. I gotta take a union break after that one. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta take a union break after that. That was the most naive thing I've ever heard in cryptocurrency. It's the most naive thing I've ever heard. That Blockstream and that Bitcoin developers putting their developments on the GitHub, right? With the full access to putting all their ideas and stuff on the GitHub, but the average person, their GitHub is just gonna go right down to the bottom. Okay, man. They have a lot of influence, dude. Welcome to crypto. Welcome to crypto, Seb. Holy shit. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Back. So while Seb thinks about his very naive position, which I apologize for. Oh, Magic, what am I mining these days? Nothing. I don't really mine these days. Staking is the better option for most people, to be totally fair. So here's what I'm saying about Seb. He was saying that basically there's consensus in Bitcoin and that people disagreed with the 4 megabyte block size, which I completely and utterly, wholeheartedly disagree with. I remember 2017 when SegWit was coming out, and the fees were getting very, very high on Bitcoin because of the usage. And people said, we need to increase it to 4 megabyte block size. That's where Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV all stemmed from, right? And the power was in the developers. And what I mean by that is that the developers provide the solutions and then people choose to accept those solutions. With SegWit, it was totally agreed upon that everybody would have 4 megabyte block size. That 4 megabyte block size was the solution to help Bitcoin. And then people were arguing, oh, node operators will have a hard time. But in 2017, bullshit. 2017 and 2018, everybody had plenty good enough internet. Back in 2009, maybe not so much, but in 2017, everybody had the perfect internet to be able to upload and download 4 megabyte block sizes every 10 minutes, period. Anybody could do that. You could do that on a very poor connection. And the developers somehow pushed it out, and Blockstream ended up having to push it out. So, somehow it didn't get pushed through. And I get it. With Bitcoin, it's a consensus thing. How many people run the nodes? If the majority of people are running this node, that's what Bitcoin does, right? And if the majority of people selected 4 megabyte block size, that's where it goes. But somehow the 4 megabyte block size just didn't make it into the GitHub, right? And that's where it all goes to, the GitHub. That's where it all happens, right? And so if I say, hey, Bitcoin should have 4 megabyte block size, that isn't going to do shit. Even if I post it on the GitHub, hey, here's SegWit with 4 megabyte block size, nobody's going to run that, right? Everybody's going to listen to the developers, and they're like, hey, we've posted this change to Bitcoin. We want everybody to do it. Everybody's going to look at that, right? And then make their choice. Right? So if they post SegWit with only 1 megabyte block size, everybody's going to look at that, and that's the only fucking choice. Everybody's going to run that node, right? So it is the devs that really truly make these decisions, because how can you have consensus with people that don't know each other? I run a Bitcoin node, you run a Bitcoin node, this guy in Russia runs a Bitcoin node. How are we going to talk to each other to all run 4 megabyte block size, right? The reason is because it's listed on the GitHub as 1 megabyte and there's no other option. And so people choose that option and they run that node and they upgrade their nodes to that, right? If you think that just because the people think that it should be 1 megabyte or 4 megabyte, that's what it's going to be. That's not the case. It's whatever the developers propose. Because if I propose something, I can, because it's Bitcoin and it's totally decentralized and I can propose whatever I want. It's not going to fucking happen, right? It's a waste of my time. It's like me voting for me for president. It's a total waste of your vote. It's a complete waste of your vote. If I said, hey, I'm going to be running for president of the United States and all of you guys vote for me, you just wasted a fucking vote. Basically, you wasted a vote, because I'm going to get 36 votes and you could have voted for somebody else. That's the problem. That's where, Seb, you didn't really quite put into consideration, because I remember the demand, the screams, the cries all over the internet in 2017 and early 2018, because the fees were so outrageous. People were paying $30, $40 a transaction on Bitcoin, and people were like, because the block sizes, the mempool was absolutely full to the brim. In fact, Bitcoin can go above 1 megabyte. It really can. But the block sizes were absolutely maxed, and people were like, we need 4 megabyte block sizes. And that's where Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, all those things stemmed from, that have larger block sizes. And you don't think the people of Bitcoin wanted those larger block sizes? They all did. But Blockstream always does shit. They always post shit, always post propaganda for 1 megabyte block size, because if they had a larger block, if Bitcoin had larger block sizes, Blockstream would be garbage. It'd be garbage. And they're respected by some people, hated by other people, and they would essentially obsolete themselves if Bitcoin was any faster. So no. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. Well, I believe the power belongs to the miners and the people who transact. Yeah, but how are those people all going to communicate with each other? That's true. That's true. But people go with the consensus. People go with the easy route. Most people that run a node, they're not going to be able to communicate with each other, even if they had a Discord or a forums to do that, because it's what's on the GitHub is what you're going to be downloading, right? It comes down to that, regardless. It comes down to what is proposed. Dang, that's when Bitcoin Cash made a play to take over the mining pool. Yeah, that's about that time. Exactly, and even crazier when Coinbase listed Bitcoin Cash, but you're right, but the miners have to agree, at least 51% of them. Of course, but what are you going to download? You have to download a node. You have to download the mining software, and that mining software is on GitHub. And who puts it on GitHub? The developers. If I put something on GitHub, it's gonna be completely silent, completely shadow banned. It's gonna be completely hidden. Not how, you know what I mean? I'd have to convince 51% of the miners in the entire world to all use my version, my software, and that's what Bitcoin would do. But no, that's not gonna happen. It's whatever the developers propose is what's put on GitHub, and that's what you download. So if the option to download it isn't there, you have to make it. But if you make it, then you'd have to convince the entire world to actually download that. It's just not going to happen. That's why the developers have a lot more control than you believe, than you might believe. You're right. It's 51% of the miners have to do it, but we all basically have to agree. But, which is true, but it's very easy to manipulate people. Most people are incredibly lazy, don't do any development of their own, and only download what is proposed to them. I want to run a Bitcoin node, so you go and you download it. Which Bitcoin node did you download? You know what I mean? Did you download the first one that was shown to you? Or did you download somebody else's 4 megabyte size Bitcoin? Right, probably the one that was proposed to you. The solution is second layers. Yeah, so far that hasn't proven to be the case, though. I mean, like, Lightning Network is incredibly difficult to use for the majority of people. And it's very dangerous. And you can lose your money. You know, close the Lightning Network channel at the wrong time. Poof! All your Bitcoin's gone. I have a revolutionary idea for how people in El Salvador could price Bitcoin. In US dollars? I don't know. What is it, Emmy? Yeah, I mean, sorry for the rant. Like, I mean, actually, I probably shouldn't even have timed out Sab. He's a good guy. But, I mean, don't be too naive in how people operate and how people's psychology operates and how feasible something actually is. What are you going to download? Something proposed by Bitcoin developers, or something that is proposed by some guy? And you have to put it on there too, and you have to convince everybody to do that. But the people are already convinced to download what the developers propose. So if there's any kind of corruption or shadiness within the developers, then Bitcoin is also a bit corrupted as well. And everybody was clamoring for 4 megabyte block size and larger block size because the fees were $30 And I remember people saying that Bitcoin is useless because they can't spend it, and that I remember reading stories about people going to bars, and the bar accepted Bitcoin at the time. Like, it was the first time like that people started to accept Bitcoin, and that they had to wait 45 minutes for the transaction to go through. And it cost them, because they racked up like 50 or 60 bucks at the bar, and, in drinks. And then it was like $30 for them to do the transaction, and it took like 45 minutes because the mempool was absolutely just jam-packed with transactions, and needed to be larger. That was the problem. And it needed a larger block size. And the argument was, the argument against it was that larger block sizes are more centralized. But I disagree in that case, that 4 megabyte block size, or 8, wouldn't be very bad for node operators. Most people have a reasonable connection these days and would easily be able to still handle 8 megabytes in 10 minutes. Because that's what it comes down to. Like, the bigger the block per 10 minutes is what you would have to not only download, but also like process. So you would need a slightly better computer and a slightly better internet connection than you did in like 2009. Bitcoin hit a high of 65K, and this is the price the people buy and sell goods at, and it will be worth more when the markets move the price above 65K. I can already think of a few problems in this, but what do you think? What do you all think as a start? I have a revolutionary. Bitcoin hit a high of 65K, and this is the price the people buy and sell goods at, and will be worth more when the markets move the price above 65. I don't know, Emmy. I'm not sure how that would work. I get what you're saying. So at 65,000, then you start pricing your products in Bitcoin as Satoshis. But then the problem is that when the price of Bitcoin actually goes up, the average consumer is paying significantly more for their products and services. Right? Wouldn't that be the problem with that? I'm not sure. It's a little confusing. I don't understand ADA though. Never seen a similar coin so stable. You mean in terms of its price? Well, there's like a cult following, and another thing happens. Like, I think coins that go up in value like significantly start to have this thing that I call a cult following. For example, a big cult following coin, XRP. XRP was one of the highest gaining coins like of all time, ever, pretty much. In 2017, it was the highest gaining coin. So in 2017, if you chose to invest in any coin, it should have been XRP at the very beginning, because XRP got up to like $3.50 from less than a penny. So it went up just thousands and thousands of percent. I'm not sure what it even went up, but so you could see here in 2017, right at the beginning, it was 0.006 cents, so 6.7 tenths of a cent. And then by the end of the year, it got to like $3.50. And that's why XRP today has this cult following, because so many people missed out on this insane explosion that they think that it will happen again. And that's kind of what happened with Cardano. Like, let's take a look at Cardano. And this was recently too. So it's even kind of a slightly different story, maybe even more. And that for years and years and years and years, it was just 15 cents, 7 cents, 30, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's now $3. Well, less than that, but now it's well over $2. And so it has this cult following of people who think that, okay, like, as long as I hold on to this coin, it's going to explode like this again. And it's unlikely, because I mean, from $2, from like 6 cents to $2, I mean, that's incredible. You know what I mean? But that's never going to happen again, because what even is that? Like from 4 cents, 5 cents, it got down to like 2. Yeah, like 2.9, so like 3 cents to, so 100x. Yeah, like 100x. So this would have to go to, let's say, from $3 to $300. And I don't know. That's hard to say. That's so much. The market cap would be so unbelievable that it would be the #1 coin in the fucking, like, basically. Like 100x market cap of Cardano. Let's see what it is. Like 69, about 70 billion. Yeah, so there's just, it would be like $7 trillion or something. Like it'd be so much. It'd be unbelievable. There's just no way. So it's just not going to happen, but people start to believe in it. And you can see that over and over and over. Like if you go to Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin used to be well under a cent. Now it has this cult following. When it didn't before, because of the price rise. People are thinking it's going to happen again. Notice this trend where you see a coin that had an incredible explosion, and that now it has this cult following behind it, like even Shiba Inu and stuff like that. So that's why Cardano has that. And for 4 years, it had no working product, and now finally has smart contracts and stuff like that. And to be totally fair, the fees on it are very cheap. So you would be able to do a lot of DeFi and NFT stuff for very cheap compared to Ethereum. I mean, just trading. Because like with Ethereum, the problem with Ethereum right now is the fees. And you might not think sometimes they're not that much, right? Like what are the fees now? How do I... resources, where are the fees? I don't know. I don't know what the fees are right now. Let's see. We can check this. It's like 100 guai, so what, a few bucks maybe something like that to send. Here's the problem though. If you're trading NFTs, like you're on OpenSea and you're trading some cheap NFTs, you buy and you know an NFT for 10 cents and you want to sell it for $3 because you just made like 30x on it. You can't, because the fees are so high that you can't, you lose all your money, you lose all your profit, right? And what if people want to trade 10, 20, 30 of these few dollar NFTs a day or start buying them? So you just bought 10 NFTs for $3 because you think they might go up in price. That's $30. But then you have to pay $3. You have to pay $3 every time you go to buy individually one at a time. So you just doubled it. So now they all have to more than double in price for you to even begin to make profit on that, because you just paid $60 for $30 in NFTs. That's a major problem, that a lot of people throughout the world can't make these small transactions on Ethereum because it's too much. And that's why like some of these other coins are starting to gain, because there's a real problem. It's not about people being greedy and saying, oh man, I don't want to pay $3 a transaction, I'll pay 10 cents, right? Because if you're trading thousands of dollars at a time, what's $3, right? It doesn't matter. The problem is that there are many people in this world, millions and millions of people in this world, that just want to buy a few dollars at a time of NFTs that they think might be good, but you end up paying double for them, triple, sometimes paying $30 just to buy a $3 NFT or something like that, or some token. So you can't. That's not profitable. That's not feasible. That's it monetarily, economically, it's garbage. You can't do it. So that's a major problem. And if Ethereum didn't have these fees, Ethereum would be exploding. It'd just be, I mean, the use case would just be exploding so much, because people would then start being able to exploit these small $3, $4, $5 NFTs and reflipping them and stuff like that. But people can't do that right now because it's too expensive per flip, right? Then you're eating into your profits so severely every time you do it that you're never going to make any money. But isn't this how you will get the big gains? Yeah, you try to find good future projects, wait and hope, I suppose, right? But what about people that are flipping or just want to buy multiple? What if you want to buy $103 NFTs, right? Like you have a few $100s in Ethereum and you're like, I'm about to take a big gamble. I'm going to buy a bunch of $3 NFTs, few dollars, and you have to buy them one at a time. Boom, 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 one transaction at a time. That's, if Ethereum fees are a modest $3, then you just paid an additional $300. So now you have $600 you just paid. But you didn't have $600 in Ethereum. You had $300, remember? So you couldn't even buy the 100 NFTs that you wanted to buy, because you had to pay $3 per transaction. So you just lost all your money. Like you bought like 10 and now you're like, oh wow, I got like 20% of what I wanted. You can't do it. You can't make all those small micro transactions and smaller transactions to buy little inexpensive things. It would create a huge use case if everybody could just use Ethereum and it was always like 10, 20 cents a transaction. Be a totally different story. So what I mean is, so again, I reiterate that it's not about an economic thing in the sense of like greed. Like I use Cardano because it's only 10 cents a transaction instead of a few dollars a transaction, right? I save money, right? Even though you're trading $10,000 at a time, like it doesn't matter. You just chose it because it's 10 cents transactions. But if you're actually buying these small products fast, flipping them, moving them, selling them, buying them, you can't do it because it would cost you thousands of dollars in Ethereum and especially, and this is when Ethereum fees are low. Like imagine like a new NFT comes out and it's super hot, right? And you want to buy it. Now it's $30 to buy that NFT, right? Because that new NFT or new website is so hot. All the new NFTs, Hansel's so hot right now, right? Everybody's going and there's so much gas fees being used, and so much volume and transactions, etc., that you're now unable to go there and buy a bunch of small stuff. Because it's $30 a transaction. I don't. Valid questions. Would you rather have 1,000 of 2 or 3 altcoins or 1,000 in Ethereum? It depends on the altcoins. I think it depends on the altcoins. I ran a node on my laptop in 2010 and 11. I didn't think about it until 2016, where I got back into it. I always think that about the great underlying reason for Bitcoin, what was written in the first block. Yeah, there is an altruistic mannerism of Bitcoin. I still chose any other platform instead of Ether because I hate the GUI thing. Yeah, exactly. And like every crypto basically has fees. But what I'm saying is if bare minimum you're paying a few dollars per Ethereum fee, you can't make a bunch of frequent transactions and stuff. You can't do what you want. You can't flip. Even playing like blockchain games is hard because every turn you make or everything you write onto the game has to be written onto the blockchain, and it's going to cost you a few dollars just to move, So it's difficult. So it's this chart here says it's $3.21. So I called that one about $3 for 100 GUI. $3.21 for a transaction. What if you want to buy 10 $3 NFTs? Well, okay, you start off with $30 in Ethereum because 10 times 3, right? $30. I want to buy 10 $3 NFTs because I think they might go up in price or I like them or something like that, right? I'm just some guy, right? Problem is I can't buy 10. Because the first one I buy is $3 plus $3. So there's 6. I can only buy like 5, maybe. That's yeah. So that's why Ethereum is lagging right now. As soon as Ethereum gets rid of these fucking fees, as soon as they're gone, Ethereum is going to shoot through the roof. The amount of volume is going to be unbelievable. Like it's going to be insane, guys. I still chose Bitcoin is what potentially could save humanity. I really believe that. Yeah, I think the people that are investing into Bitcoin in the far future, and it might not even be within 10 years, it might be within 50 or 60. If you had bought Ethereum and left it for your kids or grandchildren, and your kids or grandchildren come 18 one day, 50 years in the future, 70 years in the future, and they're gifted 10 Bitcoin, and in 2021 you bought 10 Bitcoin at $50,000 a piece for $500,000, and you like inherit it to your children or something like that, like 50 like plus in the future, it's going to be unbelievable. I mean, it'd be an unbelievable inheritance. I think it'll be, I mean, for $500,000, and in 10 years, in 2032 is the best halving in my opinion. It's going to be one of the most historical halvings ever, because in 2032 is the last halving where Bitcoin is not over 1 Bitcoin per block. So in 2032, Bitcoin's block reward per block is like 0.72 or something like that. It's like 0.7. It's less than 1 Bitcoin per reward. So imagine all these warehouses all over the world humming away. Thousands of ASICs, big fans, huge electricity to mine less than 1 Bitcoin, probably in a pool too, right? So in that pool, less than 1 Bitcoin goes out to all of the miners of the pool who found the block. So everyone's going to get 0.0000100 Bitcoin. They're going to get 100 Satoshis. It's going to be so little. It's going to be unbelievable. The price will have to be high or the whole system has to collapse. The system has to collapse or the price has to be high. There's only 2 choices in Bitcoin, in my opinion. That's a very unscientific opinion, but the price of Bitcoin has to raise over time or the system has to collapse and miners have to capitulate. But then when miners capitulate, another miner will take their place because they're willing to have that profit. They're willing to go through the effort to get that profit. So every time a big miner capitulates, another miner is going to take his place. So essentially the system has to increase in price. Has to. Otherwise everybody just has to give up because then they're mining at a loss and there's no reason to mine at a loss, right? Unless you believe that the price is going to go up in the future. And if the price is not going to go up in the future because everybody's mining at such a tremendous loss and giving up because the price is going down and down and down and down, then the whole thing is just, I mean, the nodes will still be running and stuff, but the whole thing will just, the whole hype will die and the whole thing will die, basically. Then there'll just be small miners. But if the price starts increasing, then those small miners will turn into GPU farms and ASIC farms again. So you see what I mean? Like there's this cyclical process that how does it die? So really the only option is that it either dies, which is a low option, or it continues to go up in price. So you gift 10 Bitcoin to your grandchildren or something like that. And 50, 60 years, this antiquated network is still running, but people lose Bitcoin every day. Remember that. The Bitcoin gets lost every day. I mean, people lose their Trezor wallet. People lose their private keys. An exchange gets hacked. I guess that doesn't really amount to losing Bitcoin because then the hackers have it. But people lose Bitcoin every day. They lose Bitcoin with dust. And they're like, I can't even move my Bitcoin out of this wallet, so fuck it. I'm just going to close this wallet. They forget about it. Little bit of Satoshi still gone, right? Dust. People lose their wallets, their treasure wallets, their private keys, their house burns down, etc., etc. People lose Bitcoin every single day. So 50, 60 years from now, Bitcoin will probably be a very antiquated system. Will it be on the top of the market cap? I don't know. Maybe. Yes. No. I don't know. That's hard to say. But Bitcoin will be very antiquated. I mean, 50, 60, 70 years from now, we'll have shit that'll blow. I mean, people will have like implanted chips in them that is just paying with their cryptocurrency and whatnot. I mean, it'll be nuts, like the technology, right? It's shit that we can't even think of now. 50, 60 years from now, you know? I mean, just look at us now, like running a live stream. There's all kinds of shit running, music, like all this technology going on. Imagine 70 years from now. And when you give it to them, you pay $500,000 today, 70 years from now, this antiquated thing of everybody losing all their Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden these 10 people or these kids have now 10 Bitcoin and they sell it. It'll be $1 million each. I mean, it'll be insane. Like it'll be so much money. I don't Valid question. Would you rather have? Yeah. So Greek. I'm sorry. I didn't really answer that. It depends on the altcoin, I suppose. $1,000 on Ethereum is the safe bet, but you might be able to make more money if it was 2 or 3 altcoins. You might be able to make more money if it was Cardano, maybe BNB. Also, maybe XRP if you wait long enough for the SEC lawsuit to blow over. Because remember, the SEC lawsuit caused 30 I think it's 30 plus exchanges to delist or suspend XRP trading. And Grayscale sold all of their XRP. They liquidated the asset. So Grayscale had a huge portion of XRP. And at the same time, we got to, what wasn't it, like almost $2 XRP? Yeah, it was like $2 XRP. It was like, it was in the $90s or something like that. And, that's with the SEC lawsuit going. So I'm not a big fan of XRP, but at the same time, it could be lucrative. Solana could be more lucrative than Ethereum. It's hard to say. You know, Ethereum has its days too, where it goes up like 20% and it's up to $4,000, right? You know, and you're just like, what happened to Ethereum? Like, it's going crazy, you know, and then other days Cardano will be up 20 or 30%. ICP, I don't know about ICP. I don't think anybody knows what ICP does. Like, really, like, people always question it. Like, it's always on the cryptocurrency Reddit forums. Like, people are always questioning it. Like, what is this? Like, where did this come from? What does it do? You know? I don't pay much attention to ICP. I don't think it's going to be, I mean, like, it's consistently going down. Remember when ICP came out, it was like a top 10 coin, like all of a sudden, like, poofed into existence. And now look at it. Way down. That's not to say that it couldn't come back. I don't know. That's not to say that it couldn't come back. I just don't think so. That's what they said in back in the 30s. It would be flying cars by the year 2000. We are more controlled than we like to think. I guess, I suppose if you want to look at the conspiratorial mindset like that, which I kind of agree with you, don't get me wrong. But in the 1930s, 70 years till 2000, I don't know, man. I think that's a pretty tremendous increase. I mean, for example, all the tech in vehicles is unbelievable. Take a 1930s car. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice quality. Like, it's steel, it's solid steel and stuff like that. So, you know, it's good. But take a 1930s car and then look at a car even in 2000, in the year 2000, like a 2000 Honda. There's computers in there, fuel injection. The thing goes 120 miles an hour, and it's just some commuter car. You know what I mean? You bought it for $8,000, and it goes to 120 miles an hour. You know what I mean? We have computer systems all across the world. Men in space, rovers on Mars. We landed on Titan, like a frickin' a moon that's just going around Saturn. Woo, right? We're just like, hey, we should land an object on that, right? That we can control. Boom! Like, we send it down in a frickin' parachute, dude, into Titan. Just some, like, hey, see that moon? I think I can land a parachute on that. I'm pretty sure. Like, if we just calculate it 3 months from now, send it at this speed, wrap it around twice. No, let's do it 3 times. My calculation, we'll do a little curve right here, and then it'll get right in the atmosphere. Boom, right? We can fucking do that. Right? So 1930s to 2000 was quite different. All right? So from 2022 to 2090 or 2091, 2092, whatever, it's going to be a different story. It's gonna be a different story, right? Even computers, like home computers, are kind of almost starting to die off. Like with monitors and shit. Like, not many, like very, very, I just don't know how to word this, I guess. More and more people are abandoning laptops and computers for phones, because this can do it all. This can do it all. I can make a TikTok right now. Boop, 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 boop. Right? I can look up any information I want. I can message friends. I can send money. I can receive money. I can buy stuff. I can go onto social media. I can go onto video websites. I can do anything I can do on this computer. I argue a little bit slower, and I can do it better on a mouse and keyboard. But the majority of people nowadays, they have no use for a home PC. Literally. What do you need it for? If you have a smartphone, you barely need a home PC. You can make a resume on this. You can apply to a job on this. You can do a job on this probably. You can do anything you want. Now it's only in like 20 years. We didn't have that in 2000. We didn't have that till the iPhone in 2008. It came out, right? because we had internet on phones before that. I remember I had a Motorola Razr, but you had to pay by the minute to actually go on the internet, and it was insanely slow. Like it wasn't even it was like 1G, you know? It was so slow and so primitive, and you had to pay a ton of money to even log onto the internet. Like as soon as you accidentally pressed the button, you had to like click out, because it was like, we will start charging you $400 a minute. Like, and you have to like click out, right? It wasn't till the iPhone, till we had a true, and I hate iPhones. I like Android. I'm an Android guy, but whatever. And it wasn't till the iPhone, till we had a true internet computer, like in your hand, where you could just, I mean, I was out in the boonies. I remember 2009. I remember where I was living in 2009. It was kind of out in the boonies a little bit. And I had an iPhone. And I remember being able to go on eBay and stuff from inside this house, like outside of town. You know, that's crazy. I mean, it was insanely slow. It took 5 minutes, but. So, yeah, just imagine Bitcoin 70 years in the future. It's going to be like an antique. Is it going to have the highest market cap? I don't know. But it's going to be a very valuable antique. Because we have a circulating supply of 18 million Bitcoin. And that's not real. That's not the real circulating supply. We're probably 4 to 7 million, maybe 4 million lost Bitcoin. Because there's always those stories of people losing 10,000 Bitcoin on a hard drive that they threw away, and they're looking in the dumpster, you know, that English guy or whatever from the UK, and he's like looking in the dumpster and paying people to like look in this dumpster to find this hard drive that has a Bitcoin wallet on it. Satoshi Nakamoto allegedly mined 1.1 million Bitcoin. Just a reminder, everybody, like nobody actually knows if Satoshi Nakamoto mined that much. Nobody knows. Okay, it's just based on a pattern of mining. We assume it was Satoshi Nakamoto, and I'm assuming Satoshi Nakamoto mined the first numerous blocks just to test his creation and whatnot. I'm sure he was mining. He said he was mining. He said the CPU that he was mining with, and he sent Hal Finney, right? But did he mine 1.1 million? We don't actually know that. Nobody knows that. So just like take that with a grain of salt whenever you hear that quote. But if that's true, that has never moved. I think Satoshi Nakamoto is dead. So there's 1.1 million gone right there. People lose their Trezor wallets. There's so many people on Reddits and stuff like that and stories of like, yes, I mined Bitcoin back in 2009 or 2010 and I thought it was useless. And I just like, I threw away my computer, or I sold my computer, or I deleted it to make room on my hard drive because I thought it was just some stupid nonsense, you know, movement. And they ended up deleting millions and millions of dollars. So I would suspect that there's at least 4 million probably Bitcoin gone. Right, and by 60 or 70 years into the future, there's going to be probably at least 10 or 15 million Bitcoin totally lost. I think we're getting better and better at saving Bitcoin nowadays, but back in the day was the biggest losses because people didn't know how to save it properly. They didn't know to store their wallet DAT file, like because you needed to store your private key and your wallet DAT file back in the day. Like you had to store both. Or it just wouldn't work. You had to have all the data. And Hal could be Satoshi, and they've got his brain frozen. Yeah, he'll wake up and he'll be the richest person in the world. I have this theory. I have this funny theory. It's kind of like a funny anecdote, I suppose. It's like a little fictional. But my belief is that Satoshi Nakamoto is Hal Finney, and that Hal Finney was just pretending to be Satoshi Nakamoto, and that he knew that because Hal Finney used to actually say, these are real quotes, like I'm paraphrasing, but Hal Finney used to believe thoroughly that Bitcoin would be $10 million a piece one day. He said that. He quoted that. And this was back in like late 2009 and shit. Like he believed it from the start. Hal Finney was the biggest believer. He believed that Bitcoin would truly be $10 million one day. And so far, the dude's right. And he was talking about that. That's like me saying that Bitcoin would be $1 billion one day. And you're like, what? That's so ridiculous. That's retarded, right? That's like saying that back in 2009, this thing that just some guy made that people are mining, that's some internet coin that could be deleted at any moment. Who knows? Like, right? Like nobody knew about it. And this guy is saying it's going to be $10 million someday. What is this? You know what I mean? I don't believe it was Adam Back. Because if it was Adam Back, then that means that Adam Back is Satoshi Nakamoto, and that means that Adam Back runs Blockstream, and Blockstream is pretty anti-Bitcoin. Like, pretty anti-Bitcoin development. Like, they make, like, third-party and second-layer solutions, and they're, like, considered developers, etc. by some and whatnot. So that would be, like, Satoshi Nakamoto just absolutely fucking his own coin. So I don't know how that would be possible. Why would Adam Back do that? Why would Satoshi Nakamoto just absolutely wreck his own coin? It doesn't make sense. It could be. I got an email one time. Let me tell you this story. But anyway, no, let me finish, and then I'll talk about the story of Satoshi Nakamoto and the email that I got. That Hal Finney knew that he was gonna die, so he took that 1.1 million Bitcoin and hid it somehow. Maybe it's in a bank. Maybe it's with his family. Maybe it's buried under a fucking rock. Who knows? Like, I don't know how. But that Hal Finney got himself frozen. And in fact, I used to live near where Hal Finney was frozen. He was frozen in, he was cryogenically frozen in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I used to live near there. So I used to live near frozen Hal Finney. And I believe that one day he's going to wake up in the future. Because, like, if you die and you don't have a sense of memory and you were frozen, and then, like, somehow, like, we come up with this idea, like, okay, we can replace your blood with, like we can replace your blood, and then we pour in this genetic material, like through a syringe, right? Like, we inject you, and it goes into your brain, and it starts fixing your ALS. Because he died from ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. And, like, let's say, like, there's some genetic thing, like, 100 years in the future, right? And, like, they wake him up. And, like, you know, he goes through physical therapy and whatnot, and the genetics, like, fix the ALS gene in your brain or whatever in your DNA, right? I don't know. And then, like, he can walk, and he goes through physical therapy, and he's alive. He would be the richest person. Imagine if Bitcoin was $1 million. He would be a trillionaire. He would have trillions of dollars. If Hal Finney is Satoshi Nakamoto and owns 1.1 million Bitcoin, or about 1 million Bitcoin, and was resurrected in 100 years. Because that's the whole purpose of being cryogenically frozen. So let's not get too crazy here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too much of a conspiracy theory to think that you could be resurrected in 100 years if you were cryogenically frozen. Like, maybe not. I don't know. But, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of why you're getting frozen. So if you were to die, you wouldn't have any memory and sense of time. So you would die and immediately wake up and be like, where am I? Oh my God, I'm in a hospital bed. Like, and you're going through physical therapy. And you'd be like, what year is it? And they're like, it's 2112, sir. You've been dead for 105 years or something, like 110 years, whatever. And you're like, wow. And, like, maybe he paid for his family to do it too. And they all fucking wake up 100 years later, right? Or something. And, like, he's got trillions of dollars. He would be lethally rich. Lethally rich. He would have more money than nations would have. He could form a greater army than the majority of the nations on planet Earth. You know what I mean? He would have trillions of dollars. Trillions. There would be nothing he couldn't buy or do. I don't believe it was Adam Back. You're I just don't think so. Like, it was a compelling video, but it doesn't make sense because Adam Back, he doesn't fit the narrative. I think it was either Hal Finney or Lars Sossaman. Or is it Len Sossaman? Sorry, Len Sossaman. I think it was either Hal Finney. My belief is it was either Hal Finney or Len Sossaman. Can't buy what's not for sale. I get it. But you get what I mean. I mean, the guy would have, like, if Bitcoin was $1 million in 100 years and he got resurrected, he would have. Wouldn't that be the perfect story, though? That if you knew that you were Satoshi Nakamoto, like, you created Bitcoin, right? And, like, you knew that one day in the future that this is going to be $1 million. It's going to be $10 million. Like, you were totally convinced. And you mined 1 million coins, and you knew you were going to die. So you say, I'm going to take some of my wealth, and because he sold Bitcoin to pay for his medical cares. Like, he had Bitcoin. He was the only person from like 2009, one of very few people who knew that Bitcoin was going to be who was convinced that Bitcoin was going to be $10 million. And he was one of the few people from 2009 that hodled as well and didn't just sell it when it was going to be, when it was like $3. You know what I mean? He was one of the few people that didn't. He knew that one day it was going to be a big price. This guy was totally convinced. So like during his medical problems, he had himself frozen, like when he died, like cryogenically frozen. Wouldn't it be the best, wouldn't it be the greatest story ever told by humanity that this guy creates a Nobel Prize deserving cryptocurrency, changing the face of the planet with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to follow? You mine 1 million of it. You're convinced it's going to be $10 million. So you freeze yourself. You wake up in 100 years and you have so much wealth that it's just absolutely inconceivable. Like trillions of dollars. Like it puts like Elon Musk to shame. You know, like Jeff Bezos has like 180 billion. That's not even close. Like it wouldn't even be close. It would be, he would have like 100 times more money or something like that. I'm not sure the math. 10, 50, I don't know, 100 times more money than Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Of course, inflation in the future, we might see our first trillionaire before 100 years. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's going to be, I think we're going to see that well before 100 years. So, like, I think if we were like 50, 60 years from now, I think Jeff Bezos would be a trillionaire, right? Because he's got $180 billion. That's almost 20% the way to being a trillionaire, okay? And imagine inflation in the future and more people buying online and more people, right? I can see him being a trillionaire. So maybe it wouldn't be too crazy, but he would be he'd be easily like the richest person in the world, like one of the richest people in the world. You would just have ultimate power. Hal Finney, some guy. And then, Len Sossaman. I urge you guys to read this if you want. And if you guys don't want to read it now, just click on it and bookmark it. Great info, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't respond to you much earlier. But that is just a site I picked up real quick. Like I just Googled it. But Len Sossaman. I always want to call the dude Lars. I have no idea why. Len Sossaman is a mysteriously good Satoshi Nakamoto candidate. An incredible Satoshi Nakamoto candidate, in fact. Quite compelling. So, yeah. Dave Kleiman is also a moderate Satoshi Nakamoto candidate as well. And all three of them are dead. Len Sossaman is dead. Hal Finney and Dave Kleiman, all of them Satoshi Nakamoto candidates. Not a single one of them has ever moved Bitcoin. Right? Like, and Satoshi Nakamoto has never moved these alleged 1 million Bitcoin. Again, we don't know how much Satoshi Nakamoto actually mined. That is not a fact. That is not a fact. There is a Patoshi pattern that a scientist kind of developed about the nonce of Bitcoin. And the nonce is in a row. Let me show you. Patoshi nonce pattern. Let's see if I can find it. So here's kind of one. Here's just a little example of a Patoshi nonce pattern. So every time you mine Bitcoin, every time a block is mined, there's a nonce at the end. And that nonce tells your computer basically where to start. Because otherwise your computer would start, if you know how Bitcoin mining works, it's basically just your computer putting in gibberish into a SHA-256 algorithm. It's basically like your computer is dropping gibberish into a trash can, and the trash can doesn't have a bottom. Instead, it has a little chipper in it, right? And that's the SHA-256 algorithm, right? So your computer's dropping nonsense, just trying nonsense into a wood chipper. And the wood chipper is the SHA-256 algorithm. And out the other side comes a hash, right? And that hash is equal to what you put in it, So it's hard to reverse it, but it is. It's like basically impossible to reverse it, but you can. Anyway, so it has a hash, and it has and what Bitcoin is searching for is like 8 zeros in a row. Right now we're up to like 19 or 20 zeros in a row. And then the hash at the end, a valid hash at the end with 20 zeros. When it first came out, it was like 8 zeros, and your computer could find that instantly. Like your CPU, it'll just, it'll probably find it in seconds. But now it's very hard. You need quintillions of attempts per second in order to find it. So speaking of hash, you're gonna roll one. So that's basically how Bitcoin mining works, like in a nutshell. And so you might think to yourself, like, okay, if I need such a long hash, if I need such a long piece of gibberish in order to find this number with 20 zeros, how does my computer know where to start? Otherwise it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then it would, or 9, 0, and then it would do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and every single key in order. So that's what the nonce is for. The nonce sort of says, all right, start here. And your computer has a better idea of where it needs to start, the length of what it needs to do in order to find this particular SHA-256 hash that it's looking for. And there's multiple answers to the hash. The hash just has to be of a valid length, right? So so this is a nonce pattern. And you can see here, it's just casually going up, boop, boop, boop. And so that's the same person mining, because you can mine that fast and be the same person to get block after block in the early period. So boop, 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 boop. And then you can see it moving along. And then there's other random ones here. And you can see this, especially when you see him sending Bitcoin to Hal Finney. Hal Finney says that he mined this very specific block. And before that is this growth of blocks. And then Hal Finney says he mined this block, and then so on and so on. But at that time, Satoshi Nakamoto stopped mining and sent Bitcoin to Hal Finney. So the nonce stops, and then Hal Finney says he mined this block, and then the nonce goes again. But he didn't say he mined the other blocks. So that leads me to believe that Hal Finney was mining, sent himself Bitcoin, and then continued mining again. And says, yeah, I mined this block. Because he did, publicly. But then Satoshi Nakamoto is not public and is mining different blocks, but they're all in the same nonce pattern. So this scientist goes around and does it. So I got this email one time. I got an email, and I didn't post it on my channel, but I got this email from the Potoshi guy who does the science of the Potoshi pattern. And he says that he did that he was doing stylometry on the various writings of Satoshi Nakamoto, and he put it up against all the candidates, like Hal Finney and this, that, and the other thing, Adam Back. And he also had Gavin Andresen in there. And he says that his algorithm of finding patterns in stylometry in your writing to make sure that it's you, because everybody writes different, and you typically will make words, or you'll capitalize, or you'll put 2 spaces, or this, that, or the other thing, like over and over and over. You'll always write the same for the most part. And so somebody, if they do enough science, can recognize your typing, or etc., because you type the same way every time. Anyway, and it was found that Gavin Andresen was the most likely Satoshi Nakamoto candidate based on stylometry. And which is interesting, because Gavin Andresen is the one who received the network keys for Bitcoin when Satoshi Nakamoto left. And Gavin Andresen was the one who talked to the CIA, which was interesting as well, and makes another conundrum, because Satoshi Nakamoto was emailing some of the last communication of Satoshi Nakamoto ever was him emailing Gavin Andresen. And he was emailing him about the Silk Road and WikiLeaks. Because at that time, the Silk Road was using Bitcoin to facilitate their trading on the website. And a lot of it was drugs, weapons, this, that, and the other thing. And the government hated it. And it was giving Bitcoin a really bad rap, because Bitcoin is only used for criminals, and only used for crimes and money laundering and selling drugs on the internet on Silk Road. Okay. So it was a bad look. It was bad PR for sure. And he was talking to him about that. He was talking to him about WikiLeaks, which was also getting a bad rap because WikiLeaks was publishing classified documents and stuff. And of course, governments don't like that. So WikiLeaks' money got suspended. They couldn't get PayPal and this, that, and the other thing. So instead, they were accepting Bitcoin, which was giving Bitcoin another bad rap. It was a good use for Bitcoin, but it was giving it a bad rap because now Bitcoin, once again, is for use for criminals, money laundering, for WikiLeaks, for Silk Road, this, that, and the other thing, right? And Satoshi Nakamoto was emailing Gavin Andresen about all that. And he said to him, again, I'm paraphrasing, he said, look, this is all a bad look for Bitcoin. Instead of focusing on the Silk Road and stuff like that, let's focus on what a good job the developers are doing. Because at that time, Satoshi Nakamoto had already stepped down. But he was trying to make Gavin Andresen focus on PR. Like, oh, look at a good job our developers are doing. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the Silk Road. Don't worry about WikiLeaks. Let's, look what a good job Bitcoin is doing, right? Because Satoshi Nakamoto was a kind of a nervous guy. Like, when he would talk, when he would type, a lot of the times it was kind of it was a little bit nervous. And at other times it was a little bit stoic. And at other times it was a little bit kind of a funny dick, a little bit. Like, people would like rip on Bitcoin, and he's like, if you don't have the time to if you don't have the desire to learn about Bitcoin, I don't have the time to teach you. Like, he would just like throw people off. And at the same time, he was pretty nervous. And he emailed Gavin Andresen all about this WikiLeaks stuff, and Gavin Andresen responded to him saying, hey, I have a meeting with the CIA. And that was the last time Satoshi Nakamoto ever responded. He stopped responding after that. I think Satoshi Nakamoto was an extremely nervous person. I think he thought that maybe his life would be in danger, or he could be arrested by the government for what he had created. And then either died or just really left the whole scene. Altcoins, what do you think of Harmony 1? We'll take a look at Harmony. Let's see what we got. 16 cents. Take a look at the chart. Pull it out a little bit. Kind of going up there. Let's see. 12th was a high for it. March was another high, of course. Let's see. Yeah, the high was just a few days ago. Looking pretty good. What does it do? I forget. Yeah, and Hex is at 49 cents. We were looking at that too. Somebody wanted to look at this, but 49 cents. We already looked at this earlier today. I suppose that's why I kind of got distracted away from it. But yeah, Hex is just looking good, plain and simple. It's just up, up, up. Build an Harmony bridge to all chains. Okay, so it's scaling cross-chain Ethereum applications. Is this an Ethereum token? Yeah. Harmony is an open, fast blockchain. Our mainnet runs Ethereum applications with 2-second transaction finality. Ooh, and 100 times lower fees. Harmony is your open platform for assets, collectibles, identity, governance. Well, appears to be working pretty well. ZK Sync, Polygon. Farms and sushi rewards start at 9. Are they also on Sushi Swap as well? So this is like cross-chain. So with Binance and oh, I was on Hex. Whoops. No, so it's its own blockchain, but it just connects to everything. So it's not. I was looking at Hex. My bad. So it's not a token? No. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Harmony. Like, people are going crazy over Harmony lately, and I see it's for good reason, I suppose. It's just up, up, up. If you got it at 5, 6, 7 cents there, not too bad. It's not too big gains. I mean, I guess it was like if you had bought it all the way back in 2020, but if you had bought it around here, it's not too incredible. 2, 3 gains tops, 3x, but it's looking like it's going to continue. Why did it rally on the 12th? What was the 12th? Did they have like news down here? 8 days ago, Tezos icon, sorry, double change. Why is that Harmony news? Yeah, I don't know. See if they have news. When do you see an internet based on blockchain happening, i.e. Internet 2, like Silicon Valley TV show? You know, that's going to be difficult, really, because right now the problem with the internet is that everybody has to go through an ISP. You know, like if you want that infrastructure, you have to go through an ISP. Like you have to go through like your initial, like I have Verizon Fios, and I believe the Fios building is right down the road. It's about a mile down the road. It's like there's no windows, and it's just like this brick building with no windows, no like doors, like without like big lock doors, like no windows on anything. I believe that's the Fios building where all the cabling goes. So yeah, like I think the question is like, how do you get away from that? How do you ever get away from your ISP? You know, like you would have to build such a gigantic network across an entire country or globe that would run with that blockchain. Almost like, you know what it would almost have to be like is, what's that crypto with the router you get? And you use the router, like the wireless router, and, it communicates with each other. I can't even remember what it's called. I know about it. You'd have to do something like that. No, not Starlink. Well, Starlink... Wait, Starlink? Isn't that Elon Musk's Starlink thing? Helium. Helium, thank you. It would have to be like Helium. If it's exclusively by the people, you would have to like communicate with like Helium networks or some kind of... You know what I mean? Like you'd have to communicate with everybody, and then that would hop you and hop you and hop you until you get to the server you want to communicate with like eBay or YouTube or this, that, or the other thing. Otherwise, how would you do a totally decentralized internet? Yes, Elon, no ISP needed. Yes, but then you're just paying. Then you're just going through Starlink though. Dude, an ISP is your internet provider. How do you think you connect to the internet without an ISP? Do you think I don't know? Wait, are you lost, Andre? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to do mobile networks. Christian, later. Have a good one, man. See you later, dude. No, I know that your ISP is your internet connection, and that's what I'm saying, because somebody asked me, when is there going to be a truly decentralized internet? And it's not till you can get past your ISPs. That's the whole idea. That's what I mean. Unless, I don't know who that was actually aimed towards. I'm sorry. Like, I'm confused now. I think I'm confused now. No. So what I'm saying is that there's no such thing as a decentralized internet yet. Because everything you do has to go through your ISP. And your ISPs are all connected to the NSA. So you would need an ISP. You would need to make your own infrastructure. The problem is, too, is the infrastructure is already built. And so you have to, like, lease that infrastructure from other companies. And you'd have to lease that infrastructure from other companies. But I think, yeah, 56K isn't connected to an ISP, right? Or it's connected to, yeah, like it's still connected to a centralized hub though in your town, etc. Love the way you get pissed. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I know an ISP of course is in the way, but I'm just answering the question, that's all. Like, it's not going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to make it happen. You're probably not going to make it happen. But if you're asking the question, when is there going to be a truly decentralized internet? Well, whenever we can get past ISPs somehow, but still connect to the infrastructure of, like, cables and fiber optic lines and stuff. Because otherwise, no matter what, even if you're running some kind of decentralized crypto node, you know, that like provides you some kind of internet or services or something, that node is connected to your ISP, which then connects to the rest of the world. So instead you'd have to use, yeah, like satellite or Starlink. But even with Starlink, I mean, you're still going through Elon Musk's Starlink, right? It's not truly decentralized, is it? Like, is Starlink decentralized? Like, nobody's making any money off of it? I doubt that. I don't know. Didn't Kim.com want to do a data sharing network with smartphones on a piggybacking system? Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know. Yeah, I think I heard about that, though. Kim.com, yeah. Your thoughts on internet killers, since we're more and more connected with electronics and EMP weapons to disable internet infrastructure. Your thoughts on internet killers? What's an internet killer? You mean like EMP weapons? Like my thoughts on those? Check out Cirrus. All right. Because that sounds like an interesting conversation, but this is it, right? I think it's only the matter of changing the software on existing powered network of Starlink. You can get past ISP with 56K modem still? Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be good, but again, it's just so slow. You know, it'd probably be even slower with like a decentralized system, you know, instead of like connected to like fucking AOL or something, you know. My main worry about digital economy is if bad factors get a hold of EMPs and disable our ability to interact electronically. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think getting a hold of an EMP weapon is probably not going to happen. But who knows? Maybe with like a... I think it's probably more likely there's just like a mass coronal ejection, you know, from the sun. Yeah, like solar rays. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Andre. More so than an EMP weapon. So I don't think EMP weapons are as particularly prevalent as we think. I think there's probably not that many of them. I think some armies have them. But you know, I don't know. I kind of doubt there's, maybe in the future people might use EMP weapons on each other, but solar rays can happen 24/7. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, there's that what was that event called? The Tunguska event or something like that. Or no, that was the yeah, that was the meteor. The Tunguska event was the meteor. What was the what was it called? The Carrington event. I'm gonna pull it up on here. Let's do some Wikipedia fun. Yeah. Now we're getting into it. Oh man, the Carrington event. Okay, but I have the Tunguska event up here for some reason as well. So the Tunguska event, now this isn't an EMP, but I'll tell you what, this could bust something up, something nasty. Do they got a good picture of it? They really don't, do they? Comparison of size of, so yeah, this was in 1929. A meteor was just coming down in Siberia. And it exploded in the air. The Tunguska event. It exploded in the air, and it knocked down all the trees. This is these are terrible pictures. Let me find a real good one. And it knocked down all the trees in this area, like just absolutely flattened it. I guess this is a slightly better picture. But I don't know. You guys can Google it if you're interested. But it just exploded in the air, and it just absolutely flattened everything in a complete perfect circle. All the trees, almost every single one of them, maybe a few still standing up, and just absolutely devastated the area, just out of nowhere. So the shit like this can totally happen. And the Carrington event happened in was a powerful geomagnetic storm on the 1st and 2nd of September in 1859 during solar cycle 10. A solar coronal mass ejection hit Earth's magnetosphere and induced the largest geomagnetic storm on record. The associated white flare in the solar photosphere was observed and recorded by British astronomers. The strong storm created strong auroral displays and caused serious damage to telephone systems, the now standard unique IAU identifier for the flare is something blah blah blah. But like people could see the solar lights, like the auroras, all the way down in like America. I mean, you could see them all over the world. It jacked up the whole planet. Unfortunately, we didn't have computers then, but we did have we had telephone lines and we had telegram lines, and so like things like Morse code was running while it was unplugged. I mean, you could unplug it from the wall and the Morse code could still send a signal through the wires and shit in certain places. And if this were to hit today, yeah, it'd wipe out pretty much everything. I mean, for weeks and weeks we would be down. I mean, some people say longer, but I mean, probably maybe months, upwards of months, we'd all be down. All the systems would be, a lot of systems would be fried and stuff. Exactly. So a Carrington event now, either man-made or solar, what would that do today to our digital economy? Absolutely wreck it. I mean, things would stop moving. You know, semi-trucks would stop moving. I don't know what it does to cars. I'm not much of a mechanic or a scientist or an engineer in that sense, but I mean, without like, God, like our telephone systems would be jacked up. I mean, like our computers probably wouldn't work. Our power plants would be down and fried for probably months. I mean, we'd be struggling to fix everything. I mean, wires could be fried all over the place. You wouldn't have any power for weeks, probably minimum weeks. You wouldn't have any power for upwards of months, maybe maximum upwards of a year. It might take us to like replace all these systems, like those transformers that are out on your power poles, like down the street, those big tubs. You know, those take like months to make. Those take like weeks or months to make a transformer. Those take weeks, months to make, something like that. Yeah, I think they take a long time to build. Why does it take such a long time to build a new power grid transformer? Yeah. Oh, this guy's talking about... I just Googled this, like how long it takes to build a new power grid transformer. And it says, when people are discussing consequences of power outages, like from the ones from the Texas winter storm or hypothetical catastrophic space weather event, someone inevitably brings up the point that one of the most important goals during a power crisis is to ensure that high voltage transformers do not get damaged, because even with our current technology, it takes well over a year, probably even 2 years to just build one. I don't know if it takes that long, does it? They're big, unwieldy, and expensive. The constant improvement, I don't know. I have to actually look into that a little bit more, but I've heard that it takes forever to build one of those transformers, those like things that just hang up. It's just wire wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. And if those were fried, yeah, I mean, we'd be all out of them. Not everybody would get power for maybe a year. Yeah, but not likely. That's a very definition of a black swan event. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it wasn't their definition. It was probably their definition of a black swan event 2 days before this as well. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure if this is ever going to happen. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know. But somebody's just saying, like, what happens if it does? Yeah, I mean, goodbye crypto, goodbye your power, goodbye hospitals. I mean, we'd be running on generators for months and months. I mean, your computer equipment might be fried too. It depends on the severity, I suppose. We'll probably experience this in our lifetime, maybe. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't think there's a lot of good like information and science on ones that happened before this, because it wasn't until around this time when astronomy and electricity and science was really ramping up. I mean, science was pretty big in the 1700s as well, but it wasn't until the 1800s and, you know, like, it really started to ramp up, like chemistry, science, astronomy, physics. And so we really noticed what happened here. Like, all of our electronics are going crazy. Like, our telegram systems are damaged, destroyed, or still working, even though they're unplugged. Like, we're being shocked as soon as we touch our telegram systems and stuff. Like, something's going crazy here. This is some serious science, right? But like back 1700s, 1600s, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were less spotted, 1500s, 1400s. So does this happen every 100 years? Does it happen every 200 years? I don't know. Again, a lot of things to Google. So it might not happen in our lifetime. It might not happen for 1,000 years. It might happen tomorrow. It's one of those things. Oh, Bitcoin. Oh, no. Bye-bye. Oh, Vortex indicator's pissed. Look at it go, man. Ruh-roh. I can't believe we went over 70 RSI over here. I didn't even really notice that from here to when it's going back down in. If the network is down, it's down. Won't help if you run a fuel-based system as backup like hospitals use. Yep, not likely, but that's the very definition of a black swan event. We'll experience this in our lifetime. Depends on the solar flare hard data. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Like, and now I'm kind of curious. Like, I wanna like Google it, look it up, and watch a documentary on it or something. Yep, hypothecating. We'd have to go backwards to physical currencies to trade with each other. Just back of my mind, worry. I'll trade you some sugar for wheat. Okay, we'll set up a bartering system, Andre. Sugar and wheat. You know. I'll trade you a can of corn. I'm sick of eating corn for the past 2 months, so I'll trade you some of my canned corn for your green beans. Hopefully they're not French cut green beans. Otherwise we don't have a fucking deal. We don't have a deal if they're French cut green beans, Andre. Okay, I'm just letting you know right now. Do not hoard French cut green beans. But who knows? Nice. Thanks for BTC heads up. I mean, who knows? It might come back up, but it's a little bit of a dip there. Vortex indicator's a little bit pissed. We're just kind of trending down, 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 down. Maybe if we dip below, excuse me, if we dip below 30 RSI, it'll probably forcibly come back up because of the overselling. But you can see here, went over 70, and right around here was the top or so. Started dipping down, and it's just been trending down since. I'll turn around sooner or later. Ooh, geez, man. Vortex is pissed. Vortex indicator's fun. It is what it is. Like, if you find it useful, if you don't. But the red line is just like a bearish, and like the blue line is like bullish. So if they start to intersect each other, it depends on how they're intersecting. Like if the blue is going well above the red, then the asset is going up, and it's showing a demand for it. It's a nice little thing. I like it. It's pretty. It's fun. It's simple. I'd LP my sleep and iron to clothes makers. Yeah. Corn for Bitcoin? No, man, you're not going to be able to trade me your Bitcoin when there's no internet of any kind, any way, shape, or form. You know, like some offline transactions. You might have to go over and use your Trezor or something. But I'll tell you what. I'll trade you that corn, you know, for some green beans. Because I'm going to be running out of corn, you know what I mean? Like, if the grocery stores and everything all run out of food in a month or two, boy, I'm going to have a lot of corn, you know? So, because I'm going to take it all off the shelves. Okay, look at the one chart. I had a buy order in at 0.149, and it got filled 1.5%. So it tells me that was the bottom. Looking to the chart, do you think that's strong support? You mean Harmony? Potato economy, yeah. Hopefully people do take backup of their data and make federal cages to store it safely. You mean Faraday cage? Federal cages. You mean Faraday cage? Did your phone or something like auto? Yeah, Harmony 1. So you just bought in and you're hoping that it was the bottom? That's what you're... Do you think that has strong support? So you bought in 0.149. Okay, so lower than this. What exchange did you buy it on? What exchange did you buy it on? I'll bring up that exchange because this is Binance US and Binance US totally sucks. Damn, I only got potatoes here where I live. Okay. I'll take potatoes because potatoes is like my favorite food in the world. Mashed potatoes ain't a joke. I'll eat a whole bowl of them. I'm like, can I have that whole bowl? I'll just eat these. Oh, I'm so starchy. God, potatoes so good. Crypto.com, does that even have an indicator on here? Can you even look on Crypto.com, like, as a chart? Tether, Harmony Tether US. I suppose this will work. 1 USDT. I will do USDT. Fine. Why not? On Binance, it touched a bit lower. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm on. I don't see that on this chart though. But is this the bottom? 14th of September down to the 18th. When did you buy it? Like down here? What? How long ago did you buy it? I'm buying it as a touch a bit slower. A potato and gravy, not the bottom. Is it just strong support? Bottom is well, yeah, but Ethereum dad's down. Sadness mode achieved. Better subscribe then. Yesterday. Oh, so you bought it down here somewhere. That's not bad. The question is just like what's going to happen here, because it looks like that's kind of been happening with this. Like if we pull it out a little bit, kind of trended down a little bit after that high of 22 cents or so up here. But I mean, really, the whole market is kind of, it's doing a little bit mediocre. Like everything's just, I don't know, it's doing okay. Things are just looking a little bit mediocre. The global market cap's up about 1.3%. Yeah, that's a tough call there. Was that the bottom, the support for now? The volume didn't really ramp up till after that was purchased. But it looks like somebody was gouged selling a lot right around there. Because that's a lot of volume all at once right there. Yeah, I see different things. So a tough one. Yeah, there's some really confusing there's some really confusing marks with this. Like the volume was actually kind of low when this started going up. Then people started to buy back in. So depending on what that tells you. RSI kind of bottomed out back here, and it was just time for it to come back up. However, like what this kind of shows to me here, right here, this correlation, that was a big sell-off right there, but is that this is going to bottom out before this gets down here. If this keeps going the way that it's looking, and this kind of like, you know, hits about here, we might get about here before this bounces back up a little bit. That could be a possibility as well, because this RSI bottomed out, but that was down here at 0.149, and it's getting close to sort of bottoming out to 30. And once it's below 30, usually most coins kick back up pretty quick. See that tried to recover there. Another little recovery here. So it doesn't mean that it's going to permanently recover, obviously, but if it goes below 30, you can see here that it's going to snap right back up. Below 30 here, kind of snapped back up, had a little bit of difficulty, but went back up overall. And then this was just obviously a high because we're just busting 70 RSI, over 80 here. And then when it comes back down, the final time is usually the high. So if this hits below fast without this price going down, if it takes a long time and bounces up and down and up and down and then goes down, we can be below this price. But if this hits fast, then it's gonna react back up faster, because you can see it could kind of do one of these, like see this little motion here, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's still going down because it's just below the 50 trend line. Usually anything below this 50 trend line right here, and on RSI, I kind of want to point at it as if you guys could see it, is if a coin is consistently below that, it's kind of consistently going down. And Harmony kind of is, for the most part. It has these like weird pumps. What a strange coin. And it was quite a bit over here. So I guess it depends. We'll have to see. I don't know. I think it was a good buy-in. I think 0.149 was a good buy-in. I mean, look at that bottom though. If you scale that chart back and you bought Harmony right here, at the moment that's not bad. It depends on what's going to happen after this, obviously, but kind of a little bit of a recovery. It depends on how long that's going to last. But that's not a bad purchase. Obviously, we would have wanted to buy all the way back here, but this is a good timed purchase. 0.149 compared to 22 cents and so 14 cents. What, 14 cents compared to like 22? It's now at 16 or so. And RSI is kind of cooling down a little bit. It's about half and half. So we'll see. So no one here at Hex bought Hex at 10 cents and didn't profit when it was close to 50 cents, because if you got Tether, it's weird. Yeah, I never really got too much into Hex. However, I do have some viewers. I have one viewer who's always in the live stream. I don't think he's in right now. I think he had to go. But he bought Hex when it was under 1 Satoshi. So he bought Hex at like sub 1 penny and still has it. So he's doing real noise. Yeah, I have my buy order in for flash crashes. 0.149 was my first, and it bounced exactly on it. Have a good night. Thanks for the conversation. Yeah, thanks for the conversation, Andre. I will catch you next time. I might stream Friday. I kind of want to start a stream Monday and Friday. That way, on Monday, I can read the news from over the weekend and stuff and check it out. And then on Friday, I can do like the news of the week and stuff like that and check it out. But I'm not sure. I might just keep Friday for now. I realize it's not Friday. Today was just a different day. Like, my wife was supposed to be home, but a friend of hers showed up and they wanted to go have some fun. So I was like, you know what? I'll stream for now. Half and half is consolidation then, which makes sense after making a recent all-time high. Yeah. El Salvador ranks 3rd in global ATM installations. Evolve or die. All smart contracts. Let's see. Can we refresh this? Yeah, there's a new one. What Biden's new agency picks hold for crypto regulation? Well, I might have to check out that one later. Bitcoin's playing mind games as its price coils into a tighter range. John Cena calls his own NFT sales a catastrophic failure. Oh, God. Let's close some of these. Professional wrestling John Cena said his fans only purchased 7.4% of his World Wrestling Entertainment or WWE non-fungible tokens that he made available last month. Speaking at Florida SuperCon 2021, Cena said it was a mistake to market as WWE NFTs as part of a package with physical collectibles, a hat, shirt, wristband, belt, towel, autograph picture, and a digital collectible. The organization offered 500 gold tier packages with the NFT for $1,000, but only a fraction of them sold. I talk a lot about failure. This idea failed, said Cena. Myself and the folks in the WD thought 1,000 was a fair price point. We were wrong. We were absolutely wrong. Oh, we only sold 37 of them. So for $1,000, offered 500 gold tier packages. For $1,000, you would get hat, shirt, wristband, belt, towel, autograph picture, and the digital collectible. Eesh, yeah, that is a little expensive. Why? Why is that so expensive? We thought this was a fair price point? I don't know about that. I think you guys thought wrong in the middle of like a pandemic and a lot of people's jobs losses or money's down, et cetera, paying $1,000 for your belt, shirt, hat, collectible, and autograph. Good luck on that. Yet, for some reason, JPEGs sell for $36,000. Who knows? Texas and New Jersey regulators go after Celsius Network. Oh, God, even more, huh? Blockchain Network lets users geomine rewards from their smartphone. That doesn't seem legit. Canadian politician says he supports Bitcoin as federal election looms. Yeah, they do. They always say they do. Former chief of Russia's Wex crypto exchange arrested in Poland. Really? Some interesting things here. Okay, veteran trader. Let's see what he's got to say. Veteran trader Charlie Burton gives tips on how investors can manage their emotions in bull markets and the importance of sticking to a defined set of trading rules. It's been a wild ride for market as cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin shocked its naysayer, setting a high of 64,000. Crypto traders need to be aware of times like these because the notoriously volatile nature of crypto market can see vast fortunes wiped out in a matter of hours or days. According to Charlie Burton, veteran trader, the co-founder of Easy Trader, this is when important for every trader to have a defined set of rules, and they stick to emotions begin to run hot. These rules may include things at what percentage loss do investors place a stop loss, the maximum percentage of the portfolio that one will allow to be put on any trade, having a set sell orders for investments. What is important, a lot of self-talk. Those were pretty helpful. Thank you, I guess. Homeland Security signs 1.36 million contract with Coinbase. Oh, that's great. Immigration branch of 1.36 million contract with crypto exchange giant Coinbase for business application and application development software. Federal procurement database system. Oh, good job, Coinbase. Really selling out. Good job, buddy. Solana DeFi projects are raising millions of dollars. Yeah, Solana's so hot right now. Sushi Swap co-founder steps down. Yeah, and the news is not too exciting today. Let's see if good old crypto Reddit's got something good for us. Save yourself the trouble and just stay quiet about investing in crypto. According to El Salvador President Nayib, 1.1 million Salvadorians now using Chivo Bitcoin wallet. Or are they forced to use the wallet? But either way, fine, whatever. Solana's a proof that people put profits over decentralization. Yep, kinda. Nothing too interesting so far. Topies are starting to see whales moving billions in Bitcoin. If every crypto went to zero, how would it affect you? Boy, I'd have to do something else for YouTube, huh? Really good to have you back, MrSotko. Hey, thank you. Aloha Mora. I see huge volume on 1 inch right now for Harmony. Indeed, 1K is better spent elsewhere, unless for collection. The huge fortune I cannot be touched as it does not exist. Yeah. What fortune? What do you mean? What crypto? Does no one remember this? Charles Hoskin? Man, there's just really no good news today. I'm kind of glad I live streamed instead of looking for some news for everybody. U.S. is the most crypto-ready country, and California is the most crypto-ready state. What? No, it's not. There's so many things against cryptocurrency in the United States, like, you know, SEC and like with this whole securities thing. U.S. is like one of the worst places to make crypto. I mean, maybe to mine, fine, but I don't know. Portugal is more crypto friendly. Yeah, Malta, Portugal, hell, El Salvador now. All the people that made ICOs in the United States end up getting sued or wrecked by the SEC over the years. People who do research before buying a coin instead of buying whatever the sub shills. What do you guys research about? Take an example coin and tell me the things you researched about it. About it. Canadian about it. Malta too. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to hop on out of here. I appreciate you guys all liking and following. I appreciate the memberships. I think we got a couple memberships. We got some donations. We got some Twitch support as well. I'd hope you guys follow me on my Twitch as well. I will shill it once. So if you guys have a Twitch, or if you're willing to make a Twitch account, click on that link, give me a follow over there, because sometimes I go live exclusively on Twitch and I'll just play games or something like that. But I'm also still on camera, still got the mic, still talk about cryptocurrency, but I'm just gaming or something like that, having some fun. Give me a follow on there if you get the opportunity to do so. Let's see, what else we got, boys? Do we got any friends on? We really don't. Nobody on today. Let's see, is there any other super crypto discussion going on? Not quite. Let's see, let's check this out.
Storage returns the value of the
Hold on just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing it. Hold on just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. No, you don't talk, MrSotko. I talk. I'm the MrSotko that talks. There we go. Let's raid. Let's raid this other dude. He's doing some crypto too. You can go say hi, tell him MrSotko sent you, or you can just leave. One of the two. But I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in my next video. I might not live stream till next Friday though. Later on, dudes.